out just before 3.
Okay.
Works for me. I mean, I'm just going to my boyfriend's place after this, so.
Alright, so we are streaming.
Okay.
Guess I should stop playing RuneScape.
I guess I should stop looking at pictures of Tingle.
I mean, that's related.
Ish.
And,
Alright, so
go open up the stream up.
yeah, I'm gonna give you guys.
Live chat.
I'm gonna post the link. Also, Daniel, I don't know how to do it. If you can kick Holly from the Skype call,
Sure.
so she doesn't
See if I can
accidentally pop in.
4 participants.
That would be a surprise, like, whoa.
Yeah. Alright, so everybody, this is the Hylian's Gamescast with Daniel and Kayla and myself. We will begin in just a moment. We are going around promoting the podcast on the social medias, and then Discord, and then we will begin talking about Final Fantasy VII and Zelda and Breath of the Wild and answering your questions and whatever else we have on the news. Let us know if you can hear everyone okay, though. So,
Yes, complain
Daniel,
loudly if something
Kayla,
terrible's
if
happening.
you guys, yeah. If you guys can hear myself, Daniel, and Kayla, come watch
Also, I don't think I can remove Polly from this
the
group
live.
Skype chat
Okay.
because I did not create the chat.
It's still Waluigi. That's horrible.
It doesn't show us Waluigi on.
No, on the Zelda News and Theories Facebook page, it's
Yes, the group chat. I am singular gal. Hello.
singular gal. What?
Oh, they're like, hello, guys and gal.
And they're also like Snake. I don't know what that's all about, but they said it, not me. Oh, Jesse's desktop background. Oh, there it is.
Oh, my desk. Yeah, it's I think it's the banner.
You know, I don't really need my glasses, but whenever I do podcasts, I get really annoyed because all I see is like the glare of my computer screen and my window in my glasses.
Well, I don't know what to tell you about that.
Rip my life.
Can you put the question from the one in the mailbag? Or we can just wait until the mailbag starts and then we can go back to it. It doesn't need to be put in there.
Can you ask Discord?
Yeah.
That chord? These chords?
Discord.
Also, losing little sense. It brings out the computer screen in your eyes. I'm not sure if that's
Oh, thank
or
you.
what that means in general, but
They're trying to say that I am beautiful with the computer in my eyes.
it makes perfect sense.
I got nothing.
Oh, I see this question.
Oh, there's one on the Facebook or Twitter as well.
I'm so glad you guys do all of this and I just sit here and look pretty.
Good, I'm glad.
Well, I'm supposed to do this beforehand, but it seems
Go. I'm just gonna drink my lemon water.
it seems people like they don't quite put in the
Everyone has tuned in to watch me drink a cup of water.
nice.
Ooh,
Like if I
awesome.
post and say something like, "Hi everyone, next Friday we're having the podcast. Put your questions in the Hylian Gamescast chat." no one will do it, maybe one or two people. But if I'm like, hey, the podcast's in an hour, or the podcast's tomorrow, put your questions in there, it'll get flooded with questions. So it's like, the closer it is, the more questions they'll put. Because I guess if they're like, oh, a week from now, I can either think of a question, put it in later, or I'm not worried about it, I don't care because it's a week from now. So.
It's because they're not feeling the pressure. People need pressure to perform. They're asking questions.
Alright, so there's the cancelled Mario game. There is the...
Spoiler alerts.
Alright, I have the news stories open.
What is this classy glass you have, Kayla? It's like the most...
This is my wine glass. It fits half a bottle of wine in it.
Wow.
Nice. Alright, are we ready, you guys?
And 11.
Oh, Tevy Bear's in
You
there.
know what? You know what I'm gonna do?
Tevy Bear left us. Alright. So, here's the true story, you guys. Yesterday, who was it? It was...
The way that Daniel ran
It was...
the
it was... Oh, he's got the Labo set up in the background. I wonder if he purposefully put it there. So, we had, Jacoby, or J-Link, however people may know his username. We had Gibbs and Kai from the chat. And Tevi. Tevi was playing with us as well. But you can only have 4 people in a group, so like Tevi and Kai was like switching in and out. But then they both left, and it was just me, Gibbs, and Jacob. But we only had the 3 people for our group, and you can have up to 4 people. But even with the 3 people, we still got our win. Like, we came around 3rd place, and then we came in 2nd. Was the first time we got really close to winning, and then I think we came in 3rd, and then we came in 1st. So it's like, yeah, it was really exciting because they were like, they both died. So I was the only one still left, and there was like 2 or 3 people left on the other teams, and I didn't know they were dead, so I was just kind of like not paying full attention like I should. And whenever they started yelling that they were dead and it was all up to me, it was like suddenly the pressure hit me, and I was like, well, if they're dead, then we're just gonna lose. But we ended up winning, and I like, if you go to Twitch, you can see the highlight of where we won, and they were like we were all screaming because, yeah. We're talking about Fortnite, Daniel.
Oh, okay.
Still haven't played Fortnite, so...
Yeah.
Same here. Sorry, everybody.
We need to, or I need to play with Axel. He said he downloaded the game, but he hasn't had anyone to really play with, and he dies almost instantly. So I told him to play with me because I just recently learned how to play, and I've won 3 times so far. So I feel like where I'm still new to the game, I can tell someone else who's new what they need to know, where someone who's been playing for a long time probably knows too much to tell someone. But with me, it's like, this is what I wanted to know when I first started, and then explain it. Anyways, are we ready to start the podcast?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, Daniel, Kayla.
Yeah. Jesse.
This is my least favorite part. Alright, are we ready, you guys? Can the people in the chat hear us fine?
No one's complained yet.
Alright, I should probably start recording.
Okay.
Yeah, start recording. Alright. Alright. What's up, everybody? I am Jesse, or Game Over Jesse, as all of you may know me, here with us on the Hylian's Gamescast for April 23rd, I believe,
yes,
is Daniel and Kayla. Go ahead and introduce yourself, guys. Starting with you, Kayla, since you...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Kayla, as you guys know. I've been on the show like 3 times now. You can find me at Chublima anywhere on social medias. You can literally just Google me and then stalk me. That's fine.
Sure.
And yeah.
Good stalking. And I am Daniel. And I hope if you've watched this before, you know who I am, because I'm always here. And I also have social media. Just look up Capt Bergerson on Twitter and Instagram. And what are the other social medias? I don't know. Facebook.
Yeah.
Just find me.
Alright. And I
Good.
am Game Over Jesse, I guess our host, main host, co-host for the podcast. Everything is at Game Over Jesse for me, but if you are watching the on-demand version of the podcast, everyone's Twitter and everything should be up in the corner of their videos, so you should be able to see at Chublima, at Cap Bergerson, at Game Over Jesse. But on today's podcast, we will be talking about a new sort of canceled Mario game, not a true Mario game that you would think of, but it's still interesting. Our most popular video on the channel is about canceled Mario games, so I thought this would be something that our viewers would be interested in. We're going to be talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 4 replacing its single player with a battle royale mode, apparently. We have new concept art for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I almost said Breath of the Divine Beasts. And if we have enough time, we will get to Final Fantasy VII news and just kind of discuss our thoughts on the HD remake before going into our topic of discussion, which today is a bit more fun for me than the rest of these guys. But we're going to be talking about our top 5 crazy Nintendo Battle Royale concepts. So an example that we'll be using is actually, I think, from Gamescube, IGN's podcast, where they were talking about bizarre concepts for battle royales, and they used Mario as one. So like, think of 100 little Marios dropping on an island, and then you're just jumping on everyone's head to get rid of them. And then, as always, we will be ending the podcast with our Zelda Mailbag, answering questions sent in from you guys. And if you want to have your question guaranteed to be answered on the show, just as the one and Ashley and a couple of other people in the chat right now, then you can head over to patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can support for just $1, $5, whatever you want to support, and you can get shout outs among a lot of other stuff, just as Meganil, Casey Willis, Rusty Caulfield, Link, Use the Triforce, Tight-Lipped Gaming, Robbie Morgan, shout out to us, Lovable Christy, Daniel's favorite, Key of Time 15, Lunarium, Michelle, Ashley, Monica, Justin, and the one. So guys, after that way too long intro, we can finally get into our first piece of news, which is this unreleased Mario racing game from IGN. Joe Screbbles, a made-up name, says, it's been revealed that Nintendo canceled a planned DS game called Mario Motors, in which players sculpted their own car engines. Creator Ute Saito revealed the aborted project in a talk at the Reboot Develop conference per Eurogamer, explaining that he'd been inspired by a DS demo in which players sculpted metal using the stylus tool. After pitching the idea to Satoru Iwata and Shigeru Miyamoto, Saito set out to create a game where players would create their car engines in similar fashion, with different shapes offering different abilities. Tweets says, at another, from Brendan Sheffield, I guess, says, at another meeting, Iwata asked what Ute Saito, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Saito,
I
Yeah. Was interested in lately. He said sculpting, carving things out of chunks of metal. A follow-up tweet says, Iwata and Miyamoto said, okay, let's try it. It seemed good for DS. That became Mario Motors. And unreleased, I guess that's a typo, an unreleased, unannounced DS game. And then there is an image of concept art of Mario standing next to like an F1 race car. So this would have been, I'm assuming, like a more realistic version of Mario Kart. As realistic, like the concept art looks really good, but this is a DS game. So it would have looked nothing like this. So it would have looked as realistic as a DS Mario game could look. But the concept art they have here, like the car looks like just as real as something out of like Need for Speed or any other racing game. It's just Mario is standing next to it. And they kind of did something odd with this. Like Mario Kart games have always had toony style race cars and stuff, go-karts, whatever. But in Mario Kart 8, they had the sponsorship with Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, yeah.
So you had like the weird, super realistic-ish car next to these cartoon-looking characters, and it was kind of like a clash of styles. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? It seems like this would have just been like Gran Turismo Mario, basically, where you would be creating your cars, like literally sculpting and designing your cars, as opposed to in Mario Kart when you customize your car, you're just like, I want these wheels with this bike and this glider, and that's it. But in this, like, I guess you'd be using your stylus to literally draw or design and sculpt your entire car. So yeah, starting with you, Daniel, what are your overall thoughts?
I think I feel like they got like into development this, maybe started working on it, and then someone was like, well, what about Mario Kart? And they're like, and then stopped, you know. I feel like this whole thing would work better as like a mini, like a side piece, like a part of a Mario Kart game, as opposed to its own game on its own, you know?
Like adding in the sculpting mechanic to Mario Kart?
Yeah, like just have a create or sculpting mode or something, and then you go in, sort of like a stage creator, like in Smash, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go and just draw your car and make it, and then you can use it in Mario Kart. I don't know. But as a game like all on its own, it doesn't feel like there's enough meat to justify having it, as well as having Mario Kart, which already is a thing. So I can see why it didn't come to fruition. That's all I gotta say. Kayla.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with Daniel. Like, I think it seems like something that you probably want to incorporate into a Mario Kart game. I feel like the creation aspect would be really cool for a lot of like those, you know, kids that are really into creating and seeing what kind of different things that they can do, and I think that's probably where they were kind of going with it. I also noticed in this article it's talking about like getting players to blow into the DS microphone to emulate the engines taking in air to accelerate, and I'm just like,
I think that would have been propaganda from Nintendo. Like, Nintendo was always pushing for developers to use every aspect of their consoles. So, like, use the microphone, use the stylus, use the 3D, use whatever you can. So they were always pushing for people to come up with new and unique ideas and stuff to play. But it is unique. Spirit Tracks had that as well, where you had to blow on Spirit Tracks to, like, play the flute, which was horrible on the original 3DS because the microphone was, like, at the bottom. So you had to, like, turn the 3DS to where, like, you're looking at it sideways and you can't necessarily see the screen to, like, use the stylus on the thing. Like, it worked good.
Yikes.
It worked well with the DS, but the original 3DS was horrible to play Spirit Tracks on. But anyways, Nintendo was able to come up with these cool, unique ideas. But I think this is just like, hey, blow on the microphone to simulate the engine. And it's like, why? Like,
I don't want to.
can I not press the A button to simulate an engine like normal games?
Just imagine people playing this competitively and some kid passing out from like just blowing too much, just like the whole. Can you imagine having to do that the whole race and just
No, I would.
Yeah.
running out of steam?
Maybe it was something that was just like at the beginning of the race, like how in Mario Kart, like you rev up the engine, or like you have to like press the acceleration button like at the specific time so you'll get a boost. Maybe it was something like that. Like you have to blow into it to get a certain boost at the start of the race. Because if it was the entire time, that would just be stupid. Like
Yeah, I can get as far as like blowing up one balloon and then I'm done. So I can't imagine blowing through an entire race.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine like people would actually be that dumb when designing a game. It's like, hey, blow into the microphone to simulate an engine. And it's like, well, if I'm blowing, then I won't necessarily be able to hear the engine, because all I'm going to hear is myself going so yeah. But is this something that you guys would have played? Like, there's no gameplay of it, but from the concept art, it just looks like a more realistic Mario Kart. Without the... I guess the thing with this is it would have been more of a real racing game, relying on skill as opposed to how lucky you get with the question blocks. So, like, no attacking. It's like taking all of the fun stuff away from Mario Kart. So, like, no shells, just driving.
Yeah.
I can see why it was
one
canceled.
Of those games, like if it came out when I was younger, I feel like my parents would probably buy it for me just because they're like, oh wow, like look at this cool thing, and I'd probably like play it a bunch because I was young and had nothing better to do on my DS, but that was about it.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't as bad. Like, it seems like a very mediocre game. Like, it doesn't seem like it would be bad. Especially if you're into racing and you like Mario, it seems like the perfect mashup. But then it's like, we have Mario Kart. Why make Mario Kart without the karts?
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like the worst idea for Mario games. I remember I did a list video on like the top 5 wackiest or craziest Mario games, and there was one for the original Famicom where like you would use the screen and your controller to design like a stitching layout. And then this sewing machine would plug into the Famicom, and the design that you would make on the screen, like you would actually knit a sweater based off of your design on the Famicom. And it's like that
weird peripheral.
That seems like it would have been a very horrible game to play, because I feel like the fun in like making your own designs and sewing and stuff is like doing it by hand, and then designing it on something that only has the 2 buttons is very limiting. So it's like, I think that would be like the most boring Mario game. So I don't think this was seen as it was just too boring to release. I think it was just like, was Mario Kart successful on the original DS? Do you guys remember the name of it?
On the bus growing up. Also, side note, Jesse, I have just heard from my boyfriend who sent me a text. You were much louder than Daniel and I.
Whoa!
Oh.
Yeah.
Jesse.
Which I think someone actually briefly mentioned in the chat. They're like, hey, like, can't really hear Daniel, but then we just ignored them.
Oh, sorry guys.
I didn't ignore.
Sorry, chat people.
I got distracted because they were all yelling Snake, so...
Snake.
Professor Snape?
No, Snake. With a K.
Snake. I don't know.
Okay. This is the issue. Alright, continue, guys.
Okay.
Snake.
The
DS.
Yeah,
The DS.
What were your thoughts on just the Mario Kart DS? You said you played it on the bus. Kayla?
Yeah, so it was like one of those, I think, like, everyone kind of had it on their DS growing up, and as I've mentioned before, my high school was very far away from home. It was like a 30-kilometer Canadian like drive out. So we'd be on the bus for about half an hour, 40 minutes. So we'd all just hang out and play Mario Kart. But that was the only use of Mario Kart DS I ever got.
Good use of it.
Because especially when you have the console, it's like you don't have people come over to hang out and play Mario Kart on the DS. You're gonna hang out and play Mario Kart on your GameCube.
Wasn't Mario Kart one of the DS games? I think the 3DS did this as well, but or at least Mario Kart 7 on 3DS. But the DS Mario Kart game have like download play to where one person could own it and the other people didn't have to own it, but everyone could still play together.
Yes, that's how it was.
Okay.
That's a great system.
Yeah.
I just really like that.
There's a new PlayStation game. I think it might be on other consoles. I'm not sure, but it was called The Way Out, where it's like you and a friend breaking out of prison. And the cool thing about that game is like only one person has to buy it, and then everyone else can just play with him. And then Far Cry had something similar to where you could play co-op if you didn't have the game. Like if you bought the game, you would have like 15 different keys or 15 different codes, and then you could give those to like 15 of your friends, and then they could play co-op with you. As long as you were playing, they could play the game as well. So when games do that, it's really cool. And I think Mario Kart DS was the first one that I seen do that, but I don't know if they originated it.
I wish it happened more, but of course it wouldn't, because Nintendo loves money. Come on.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Were there other Nintendo games that did that?
I know that the really shoehorned in pointless multiplayer modes on Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks did that. Because I had nothing better to do. And there was this is going to sound terrible. There was this class I took in high school. It was like a science and technologies class. I thought it was going to be really cool. But my teacher was like a stoner, so we didn't do very much in that class. And so a friend of mine, we would play the really pointless multiplayer modes on Phantom Hourglass. That was like the thing. But he didn't have the game, so we did that download play.
I think actually the older Mario games on like the original DS as well, I think you could just randomly play like multiplayer really bad mini games on there. I don't remember. I don't remember, but I feel like that was something I did. It was honestly a little bit too long ago for me to remember, because the original DS was forever ago.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Alright,
Yes, it was.
I think the concept, going back to the actual cancelled game, the concept is something I think would be good on like Nintendo Switch or something, now where the consoles actually have the power to make a more realistic looking car, as opposed to the DS, where it's like even if you were using all the processing power the DS gave you, it would still look very clunky. Like,
yeah,
so,
but I mean, this would have, I think, worked best on the Wii U gamepad. You know, in the same way that the Smash Bros. Stage creator would work, where if you're actually drawing on the gamepad, because the Switch's touchscreen doesn't have a stylus, so you'd be just using your fingers to draw. Wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess the Switch needs a touchscreen stylus thing.
I guess you could buy those, like, that you can get for like your iPad or your tablets, but I don't know. That seems excessive.
Yeah, and with nowhere to store it in the Nintendo Switch console, it would be a disaster.
Yeah, so
I was looking, the games that this guy created, he created the series Seaman, Seaman, for the Dreamcast, which is like a virtual pet simulator. So, like
Nintendogs?
Yeah,
it was
wait
like
a minute.
Nintendogs for the Dreamcast and PlayStation 2, basically.
So before Nintendo.
Pre Nintendo.
so like,
and then he had Arrow Transporter, which was another simulator game. This is the player's in charge of an airport. So I guess it's like an airplane simulator. It seemed like this guy was really into
airport simulator.
Yeah.
Like not the airplane.
Yeah. So
not the fun part.
It seems this guy was really interested in like creating simulation games because he also had like a sim city style game. Like Sim Tower was the name of it.
Interesting.
Where
so he's got his niche, I guess.
Yeah, and then he was wanting to make this engine building simulator, car building simulator where you raced as Mario. So I just think it's really odd that Nintendo, like both Miyamoto and Iwata, like signed off on this game being made when they didn't sign off on, like, this was okay. A DS Mario build your own car or draw your own car game, but the guaranteed to be successful Wind Waker 2D for the Game Boy Advance was given a no. Like,
yeah, that's true, but I still think that they were probably working on. Well, no, they would have been developing Minish Cap at that time.
Curse you, well, Capcom would have been developing Minish Cap. Nintendo didn't release a GBA Zelda game. That was like the one console that they just didn't make a Zelda game for.
They didn't.
Yeah, the Nintendo.
Before someone in the comments is like, but this was a GBA Zelda game.
Yeah,
Nintendo didn't make
there
that
was
one,
remakes and stuff. Like they had A Link to the Past and some other games on there too. But I think Capcom did the port of A Link to the Past as well. And then they had their classics. Like they had the NES classics for the GBA. Yeah. Like they had Mario, Zelda.
Screen crunch, though.
Yeah.
That's the problem with those GBA ports of old Super Nintendo and NES games is the screen crunch.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we can move on to our next piece of news. Kayla, do you want to take us into the Zelda concept art?
Oh, I'm going into that one. You just straight up skipped something, but that's cool.
Oh yeah, the Call of Duty.
No, that's fine. No, it's fine. I'm going into Zelda concept art.
All right.
I guess. Wow. So I don't know if you guys saw, but Jesse actually uploaded a video when he saw this, because I don't remember what happened, but he did upload a video going over the concept art and really showing it in detail, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
So basically,
supposed to be like a 5-10 minute quick video, and it ended up being 30 minutes because I apparently always take way too long to talk. So
Jesse is chatty.
All I know is people were angry. They're like, that's not what this is on screen at the moment you said that. And it's like, no, just he's just showing everything. Just the comments were a little much, guys. That's all I'm saying.
But yeah. Anyways, so there's a Japan exclusive Breath of the Wild book that was released with a lot of really awesome like concept art during Breath of the Wild's development. Yeah. And so I guess when was this actually released? Like last year sometime?
It was released in Japan last year, and then it's being translated, and it was delayed for America, or like the Western English audience. Yeah. But I don't know when it was delayed to. But you can pre-order it right now, so you can go and reserve your copy.
Okay.
You just can't physically own it yet, unless you want the Japanese version.
Yeah. But yeah, so like some of the really awesome like highlights of the concept art would have been like different kind of prototypes and early models for the Divine Beasts. So I think it would have been really cool to see a lot of different kind of Divine Beasts. And what else we got?
There's the sort of like
it was December 15th in 2017 was the Japanese release date.
Ooh.
Oh, and yeah, they're like, there's a design, and it's like a flying saucer with thin tentacles, and then there's like Link with Epona in the background. So it kind of like, it feels like a very classic science fiction thing going on.
That one does, yeah.
Yeah.
But the submarine ones look really cool. There's like one that looks like a giant, like a stingray or manta ray.
Yeah.
Oh, they look cool, that's all. but sorry.
I was trying to see, I can't find who's translating it, but Hyrule Historia was actually translated by Glitterberry, who's a girl that I became friends with when I was writing for Zelda Dungeon around the time Skyward Sword came out, because she was the person that Mossy's from Zelda Dungeon would get to translate the Japanese website for Skyward Sword, because they would always they would update the Skyward Sword Japanese website, and then like a week or two later they would update the English site, so they would get Glitterberry to do it. And she was also doing a fan translation of Hyrule Historia because it was releasing alongside it. And she was doing such a good job with her fan translation that Dark Horse, I think the people that made Hyrule Historia or published it, hired her to do the official translation. So she might be the one who's also doing this, but I'm not 100% sure. It would be cool if she was, though. Anyways, continue, guys.
Yeah. No, I don't know if like when you actually like do the entire video, if you're gonna like be showing the different kind of concept art in the corner again type thing, because I feel like you do that sort of stuff. Just
here, I'll do this really quick. So I'll scroll through it so you guys can see it. But
yeah, show people some cool stuff.
I have a full analysis, or like where I give all of my thoughts on all of this. But it's like, you know, a giant crab that looks like it was conceptualized from like the lobster crab thing that we see on Wind Waker Link's thing, or at least that's what it puts me in the mind of. The coolest thing here, though, is we see two different underwater divine beasts. One is like a giant whale that has a huge opening for a head. Like, it doesn't even really have a head. It just has the
He looks kind of like a telescope underwater.
Yeah.
Like
and then
but
we have
the
mantis-looking thing that reminded me of the enemies from the Water Temple in Ocarina of Time that would kind of like fly out of the water and attack you and go back in.
Oh, yeah. Those annoying ones.
But the interesting thing is where these are underwater, and of course in the Akala Tech Lab, or one of the ancient tech labs,
I think it's the Hateno.
There is the concept for the Divine Beast that a lot of people thought was going to be the fifth Divine Beast in Breath of the Wild, but it ended up, like, the concept for that isn't even in this concept, so maybe there's other concept art for even more Divine Beasts in the actual book. Like these, this is like 5 colorized Divine Beasts, and then the whale is still in like black and white, so maybe there's even more to be found in the book, but I keep getting off topic. The important thing is that these are underwater. 2 of these are underwater, and then the one in the tech lab was also underwater, so there's concept art for 3 underwater Divine Beasts when the game...
I think that would be really cool if you had underwater Divine Beasts, because in Breath of the Wild, we don't see any of the underwater portion of the game.
Yeah.
So,
like, the water Divine Beast still kind of works out because it's an elephant, but it's like, it just stands there, where, like, the camel Divine Beast just walks around the desert and stuff, and it's actually moving. The chameleon Divine Beast's like crawling around Death Mountain. The bird Divine Beast is like flying in the sky, and then the water Divine Beast, you would imagine, is like swimming underwater and like hiding and stuff and coming out and causing havoc. But no, it's just standing still, making it rain. And it's like, compared to the other,
making it rain, Daniel.
Compared to the other Divine Beasts, when I see, like, it might be one of my favorite. Story-wise, like the whole build-up to the Divine Beast with the Zoras and like making your way to Zora's domain. Overall, it's probably one of my favorite quests for the Divine Beasts, but specifically the Divine Beast itself is probably one of my least favorites, because it does just stand there. Like, you have to chase the chameleon, you have to chase all of these other Divine Beasts, and this one's just standing still.
Yeah.
And it's like, you would expect it to be something more fish-like like these divine beasts. And then it would be cool if it was just like half of Hyrule in Breath of the Wild is surrounded by water. Like the south side and then the east side is all water. And then there's a bunch of like huge rivers and bodies of water all throughout Hyrule. So it's like it would be interesting if this divine beast could just pop up in any of these huge bodies of water, and if it was like a fish that could somehow like use the water to get from area to area and you had to track it down. Similar to I want to think of the 3 legendary Pokemon from Silver and Gold. Where like the 3 cat dog Pokemon, whatever they were called, the great dogs. I don't know.
Good enough.
Yeah, like
ones.
they would like pop up on the map, and you would have to like literally hunt them down, and then they would keep appearing in different areas. So it would be cool if they did something like that with this, to where it's like you don't necessarily know where it's going to be at. You just know it's going to be in the body of water. And then like if you're running across the coast and you see like a wave going across, then like you know, hey, that's where the divine beast is. And then the Zora armor in Breath of the Wild is one of the, I think, like the only Zora armor out of the entire series that doesn't let you swim underwater. So
I mean,
Yeah.
you
Well, I
can
think the
swim
blue
up
tunic
waterfalls, so that's pretty cool.
yeah, but it's like, and then like they have the concept art of Link in the scuba diving gear, like he has the astronaut looking helmet and stuff for his oxygen. And it's
Yeah.
like they had the idea to go underwater. They had like crazy concept art of Link's outfit to have you go underwater. They had divine beasts, and this seems like something that's like, if we add absolutely everything to Breath of the Wild, then we'll have nothing to add for the next game. So let's purposefully hold back some of these gameplay elements that we can add into the next one. And
Yeah,
I
so,
feel
like, we're seeing
underwater
concept-
exploration. Yeah, sorry. But yeah,
No, it's okay.
underwater exploration seems like just one of the things that's like, it was there and they took it away just so they would have something new and exciting to put in the second one.
Yeah. And, like, even if these aren't actually used the way that a regular Divine Beast is used, then even, like, the concept art of kind of what these different monsters represent, like, they could still be incorporated into different Zelda games, because then we wouldn't have to worry about seeing them over again.
True.
So, like, it's still an idea they have going on.
Yeah.
Could just be a monster.
The other cool thing about the Divine Beast is the one that looks like it's from like War of the Worlds. That has like the giant spider looking tentacle-ish one has like these much more so than the other Divine Beasts. Or at least a couple of these, like the mantis looking stingray Divine Beast that's underwater, the dinosaur looking Divine Beast, the one that looks like it's from War of the Worlds, and then the giant crab Divine Beast. So 4 out of these 6 Divine Beasts look like they're designed to hold villages or cities.
Yeah.
As
Two of these look like they got changed, though. There's the one that has like lightning around it that does look kind of dinosaur-like. That looks like it probably got changed to Naboris, like the camel one.
Oh,
and the other one has like the creepy fingers, but I think that one ended up becoming the Rudania, the chameleon one, because it does have that sort of fire.
So
yeah, they have the same kind of elements going on.
Yeah, and the general sort of body shapes.
A cool thing is the 4 Divine Beasts that we did get are each named after a sage from Ocarina of Time.
Except Van Meadow.
Yeah. Okay, so that was
after
the sage. The sage from Wind Waker?
Yes.
Okay, so what sage would you expect these Divine Beasts to be named after?
Well, Impa's not in Breath of the Wild at all. So it would be probably something named after her, because Impa's in like almost every Zelda game that has Sheikah,
is like
except for Breath of the Wild.
The Shadow Temple Sage, And
Yeah.
just because the one from War of the Worlds that has like Link in the bottom right of the picture on Epona, or whatever horse that is, it doesn't look like Epona, it's like a dark horse. But anyways, Epona's dark. Well, light brown. Anyways, the point is, I would imagine she would be, or this divine beast would be named after her because it's scary, and the Shadow Temple is supposed to be scary. So just off the scariness factor, I imagine that would fit. And then maybe the dinosaur-looking one. I don't know. Like, is that a crane hanging down from its head?
It looks like a crane.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's nothing that one became the camel one. Like, it's sort of, they changed the design, like, tweaked it until it became that one.
There could be one called Raru or something.
Raru. Yeah, we don't see anything like that.
Yeah.
Or they would change it a little. It would be like Rauris.
Yeah.
Which sounds like walrus.
No, like Rauris.
Yeah.
Like that could match with like a dinosaur name.
Rauris.
Like dinosaur,
Roar,
XD. And then, like what else was there? There was.
There's, I don't know.
There's Rudo, Darunia,
Saria, and Fado are two other sages that I don't think are mentioned at all.
None of these would fit with Saria. Like, there's no Va Saria or anything because, like, they just look like water. I don't know if that's lightning striking near that divine beast or if it is causing the lightning.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we can move on to the next one. What are some of the other concept art that we see here?
There's a really cool one that looks like, it really reminds me of this unused enemy that was in the concept art in beta of Twilight Princess. It's like the Armos. Find a picture of it.
Yeah.
It was unused in Twilight Princess, and then it looks like they adapted sort of that same design for this, but with the Sheikah sort of designs.
Well, that's what Nintendo always said, is like if something goes unused in one game, they like tweak it and reuse it for other games. So it looks like
and then they still didn't use it.
Unused twice. The one that made me laugh, if you actually watch the video, like I start laughing whenever it comes to like the weird centaur Lionel thing that's like dressed up in the jazzy clothes.
I think it's an early horse god design.
I think he's beautiful.
And he is fabulous as well.
There's Hylian.
Fabulous.
I don't know if that's Hylian text or just Japanese text in the picture with him, but I don't know what it says, and I would love to know. And then there's like a male Impa looking character that's I think's just like one of the Sheik warriors, similar to like the Yiga clan warriors.
Oh my gosh, Daniel, what you just sent me is hideous.
The Armos thing?
Yeah.
Wait, did it load the right? Did I send you the right one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from Twilight Princess. Yeah, his face is gross, but I think he was an enemy that would have been in like the Temple of Time dungeon.
Yeah,
so he kind of fits in with the Tower of Gods aesthetic in Wind Waker as well, if you ask me.
But I do see how that is.
That's what it reminds me of when I see that. I don't know, but it's got the more Twilight, princess sort of motif to it.
Yeah, I also said in my analysis that the concept art for the Great Fairy Fountains looks a lot better than the ones we actually got, because all the Great Fairy Fountains look very similar to each other, whereas in this there's concept art for like an all golden fairy fountain, but then there's concept art that matches the different areas. Like there's one that looks like it would have been next to the Gerudo town or Gerudo Fortress, whatever it's called in Breath of the Wild. I keep getting them all mixed up, but like it's made with all of the jewels and stuff that you find around the area, and then there's just like different ones that are like really cool looking and stuff. I would really like to see if there are more images from the book to see what the if there is the Kokiri champion that was taken out of the game, like if there's artwork for that.
Well, I think it is somewhere in the book. I think that's where that came from. Yeah, I really like. There's also but it's not artwork, but there's screenshots of the map, and it shows sort of like the routes that Link and Zelda took and the memories and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is cool. I don't know. That's
cool.
That ties in the memories to make kind of sense in the game.
Yeah.
And then there's like, I couldn't figure out if it was like Zelda's mother. But there's like concept art of Zelda. I think the other one's like a darker haired Zelda in a different outfit, but the one on the right,
that one totally looks like a mom.
Yeah, it looks like concept art for what Zelda's mom would have looked like. And the outfit is very similar to one of the dresses that we see Zelda wearing. Just like a more like age. Is that good to say? Age appropriate? Like, this looks like it's meant for old people. No, like
that's rude.
Yeah.
As someone who is personally a grandma, not actually, but I act like one. That's
for someone
offensive.
who is figuratively a grandmother.
Yeah, you heard her.
And then there's other concept art of like we've seen this as well. There was concept art for Link wearing like normal teenage clothes for what you would imagine someone in today's time wearing, just stylized for Breath of the Wild. Like he's wearing a hoodie, and there's one where he's like playing a guitar and everything. But in the top right of the image that I'm looking at, it has like just like a casual mini skirt wearing Zelda with like her hair in a ponytail and then like her bangs hanging down, and she's just casually walking in like the pink and blue outfit, and apparently no socks with her boots. So, the Princess Stinky Feet. And then we have in the bottom left, there's concept art of Zelda from Breath of the Wild doing the pose and wearing the outfit from young Zelda from Ocarina of Time when she like turns around at the window to look at Link.
Yeah.
She's doing like the same pose, but it's adult Zelda as opposed to young Zelda.
Yeah. And our horse.
and her horse. But yeah, what Daniel was saying, there is like paths and everything to show like the different paths that the sages took, and I noticed this in the video that I did, if I can find it, but it looks like in one of them you can see where what's his name, Ravioli flies Daruk to like there's a spot where it shows like all of the different sages and their paths, but then it gets to the path that goes to Death Mountain, and it looks like Ravioli just like drops Daruk, or like lands him or drops him off. But I thought it was interesting to see the collaboration between them, because it wasn't until the very end where Rivali started being nicer towards the other. So to see like this implying that not only was he like getting along with the team, but he was actually helping them out. Because it just looks like everyone else has like a twisted, tangly path, but then I almost said Valruta. Rivali's path is just like a straight flight, but then like a third of the way there you can see where it splits off, and then Daruk goes on his path to the castle. And then on Mipha's path, you can see she didn't just go straight to Valruta, she took a long path around, which I also talk about in my video, and it looks like she takes the path that Link takes to get to Zora's domain. So like you're taking the same path as Mipha, but instead of going straight to the Divine Beast, it's like she's warning. Like she goes to Zora's domain to warn the others, and then she goes to the place. Yeah. So it's not like she just rushes to get there. She actually, But if there are any other that stands out for you guys, we can talk about them, or we can move on to the next news story. There's the Happy Guardian that made me laugh. Concept art for like another the city in the sky. There's concept art for Oh yeah, the city in the sky has the big windmill that reminds me of the windmill from Kakariko Village. There's concept art for like the Mount Rushmore of the Gorons, which I think there's only one mountainous area in Death Mountain that's like carved into the shape of a Goron, where like here there's 4 beside each other.
There is still, I think there's 3 now, but they're all like one on top of each other.
Okay.
It has Daruk as the biggest one, and then one is actually Darmani from Majora's Mask, which makes no sense, but and then the other is another Goron, I think a younger, if I'm remembering correctly, a younger Goron.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're like kind of clumped together, not like side by side like that.
Yeah.
And then Daruk's doing this great pose, like I don't know.
The concept art for the Wizrobes, the one on the very right, terrifies me.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There's one with the Wizrobe without the robe.
The naked Wizrobe. It's just a whiz. It's a whiz.
He's the whiz kid.
Because there is no robe.
I like that there's the one that's sort of on the middle right. Looks very like
the pose.
Classic Zelda. Or a bit like the pose, but I was thinking like maybe minus the brim of the hat, but like the Wizrobes from the original games, and then Link to the Past and NES Zeldas.
I definitely thought Poe when I saw it, just because of like the little flame elements, but yeah.
Yeah. That's I was playing Wind Waker and the Wizrobes show up in that. I'm like, wow, these are really different than every other Wizrobe in every other game. Why are they toucans in that game? But in every other game, they are. You know they are. Oh wow. Anyways.
Yeah, they're definitely toucans.
They're 100%.
There's some. Oh my gosh! I actually just googled it. There's fan art of a toucan like from the Fruit Loops, and he is.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Oh,
I love the Happy Guardian makes me laugh so much though, because he's like doing like hats off to you.
There's also something that was interesting. One of the websites, I don't know why, but they had an image that wasn't even from Breath of the Wild. A lot of people commented saying that it was from
A Hat in Time.
A Hat in Time. It was an image from that. And I was thinking, why did these websites have it included in with the Breath of the Wild stuff? So,
I don't know.
Like, Zelda Dungeon doesn't.
It makes sense. No.
But, like, Go Nintendo, I think, had it. Like, Nintendo Everything and a bunch of other had it, and it was weird. But I included it in my thing. A lot of people mentioned that it wasn't. It was from A Hat in Time. It was odd. But the cool thing that made me super sad about the concept art, which is the last thing that I'm going to mention, aside from the Nightmare Fuel giant bosses that aren't divine beasts, they're like actual boss-looking things.
I love those guys, by the way. They're beautiful.
The concept art for Hyrule Castle.
I knew you were going to say it.
Yeah. It has like all of the blue roof.
Oh.
Like everything has like the same colored blue roof, which makes it match, and like the style of it makes it all like concise.
Yeah.
Where like Kakariko Village and Ocarina of Time, like each place had like a different colored roof, and with this it makes it look like the town itself is more like working together.
Yeah.
Because like it looks like they're all made out of the same type of wood, they're all painted the same color, they're all in the same style, they all have the same like brick looking roof.
That, or they got really lazy and they're like, you know what, let's just make everything look the same. We don't want to have to plan that out.
Blue painting. And it also it goes with matching the, like, maybe that was just their colors. Like Tennessee, the state that I live in, the colors are like orange and white, mostly for like the college, at least that's nearby, University of Tennessee. So like you see orange and white everywhere, so like maybe blue is one of their like national colors or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
and it also like really suits the clothes that Zelda wears in this game as well. So I thought that was kind of a cool way to kind of twist it all together.
Yeah.
It's sad though, because we see this, version of Castletown in like the backstory in the game, and in the memories and stuff. But
yeah, the cutscenes.
Yeah, but it's nice to see it like thriving like this, and it makes me sad because I want to actually like run around in that town and explore and break into everyone's houses and break their pots and stuff. So
pet their dogs, the usual.
Stuff, yeah.
Oh, Jesse left and now he's back.
Sorry.
Terror.
No. Yeah, no, it's just it's like almost an evolution of like the Twilight Princess Castle Town, only it looks like it's far more open and actually interactive. Which in itself was sort of an evolution of the Ocarina of Time Castle Town. So I would have liked this. It is an explorable part, but I get it.
Yeah, that's what I always
raised it, destroyed it.
I always liked that from the Castle Town. Was in Ocarina of Time, everything was based off like in a circle. There was the fountain in the center, and the camera just like was in a static position and panned around the place. And then Twilight Princess had like the same type of fountain in the center of town. It's just the back alleys were all expanded. And then Breath of the Wild, it seems like it was the same thing but much bigger, except destroyed. So yeah. But before we move on to the next thing, I want each of you to pick out whatever your favorite concept art here is. Kayla, you mentioned you liked the monsters.
Yes.
So would you like to talk about those for a second before we move on?
So my thing is looking at this is the size difference. Like they kind of like they draw the monster and then they draw like this little kind of idea of Link at their feet. So it makes me wonder like what were they thinking? How big are these monsters going to be in comparison to Link? Because that is amazing. And also I love that scary stuff. Like I feel like they, especially in Ocarina of Time, like they kind of tied it in a little bit with that Shadow Temple. I wish I would see a little bit more of that, but that might just be me because, you know, I'm weird. But yeah, no, I love this one. I just love the way that it's kind of like drawn out and ideaed.
I want to point out too is I don't know if you watch Zeltic. He's a YouTuber as well that does Zelda stuff. I know Jesse has the term YouTuber. Sorry, Jesse, but he did a video talking about this piece of concept art, like just this piece specifically. And what he talked about was that he thought these were early Guardian designs.
Okay.
Because when they were developing Breath of the Wild, apparently the Guardians were based on the Octorocks from Zelda 1. So what it was is the Octorocks compared to Link felt huge in the first Zelda game. And they wanted to have a huge enemy like that was important to the game. So they made a bunch of designs, the Guardian being one of them. And then when they showed that first trailer, the Princess Mononoke style trailer where Link is chased through the woods and across the bridge by the Guardian, the reaction was so good to that they decided to base more of the game around the technology of the Guardians and stuff. And that kind of became the theme of the game, right? So he said, well, what if they had chosen one of these Nightmare Fuel designs instead of the Guardian and had ended up causing, like, the theme of the game ended up revolving around these guys instead of the technology? You know, what kind of game?
Oh my goodness, just straight up
terrifying nightmare game would we have gotten instead?
I feel like aside from that, like if they didn't do that, if one of these guys just like popped out of the bushes or something at night, bless.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and the thing is, like, these are nice, like, there's different themes. Imagine you're going through, you know, there's that area that's like it's not like the Lost Woods, but it feels like that, and it's like pitch black. Breath of the Wild, I can't remember. It's like there's ruins in there, and there's a Hinox you fight to get a shrine. Imagine you're going through that, and then the weird stilt skull face with the hair coming off it, and the weird thorn crown just like popped out of there, and you're just like, ah! And then there's the giant crab thing, you know, you're going through, I don't know, like the Faron region, and you end up in like by a river, and that thing comes out of the river and attacks you. I don't know, just there's just a lot of possibilities, and if you had all these guys in different regions,
I love them.
Oh, they're so scary though. That's the thing. They would be just, especially they're creepy in their design, and they're also enormous. So it's just
all right. So nightmare themed Legend of Zelda, Nintendo, please.
That's what would happen if they had chosen this instead of the Guardians.
Like, you know what? Maybe this game isn't for children. Let's put an R rating on this one. It's too scary.
I think No, it's not R-rated, but Twilight Princess is the only not E-rated Zelda game, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's rated T for teen.
So I don't know if you mentioned this, Daniel.
Yes.
But like on the one that has like the big hairy beard looking thing.
Yeah.
It would be really cool if it was like all of its limbs or whatever was bent down, so it was kind of like sitting on the ground. And its beard, yeah, like its beard is covering up all of its limbs. So you see it and it looks big, but like its head looks like it might be the size of like a normal hut in Breath of the Wild, like one of the huts in Kakariko Village. But then like
there's already those big skulls that are like sitting there, and so you think it's one of those,
and you get close to it, but then it like starts to raise up. Yeah. And you see the end of its beard like coming, and you're like, oh, this thing's a lot bigger than I thought it was. But then its beard lifts off the ground as well, and it just keeps extending and getting higher and higher. And then when you finally look at it, it has like these two giant legs, and then these two super duper long hands just dangling down. And instead of being like 15 feet tall, which you thought it was originally, now it's like 100 feet tall. And you're just like, it was already huge and terrifying, and now it's, yeah. And then the one that looks like Goma looks like the tiniest one.
Yeah.
But
the
it's
one
still,
that has,
but it's still huge in comparison.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I was thinking that looks like Goma, like Zelda 1 Goma, but like hairier and scarier and more eyeballier. You know?
Yeah.
It's just got, it's not just like the creepy hairy spider legs too, but like, and then it's got the long fingers and stuff. It's just, why Nintendo? Also, obviously, they've got some great artists that are not getting the spotlight that work there. So. What is going on with that?
Someone followed me on Twitter.
Oh, woohoo!
Congratulations! Woo!
Castle Pixel, the developers of the Zelda-like Blossom Tales.
Ooh.
They like retweeted something, liked it, and then followed me, and it was like it was a good moment for me, guys. When a developer of one of your favorite Switch games follows you, so you're just like, yes.
I feel like I'm in the presence of someone famous right now.
It's like Senpai noticed me.
You know, like, I never thought about it as a kid or whatever, but Goma in general, in most of its designs, is really freaky. Like, I just googled like Goma concept art. And it's like, dude, like, what the heck? Who thought of these creepy nightmare monsters? I'm just saying, not just the spider. Like, Twilight Princess Goma is really bland in my opinion. He's just like, I'm a big spider. That's it.
Yeah, no, Goma is just terrifying.
It's a shame just this 64 didn't do its concept art justice. You know, because it's just not as scary in the game. That's all I gotta say about that. So,
well,
Jesse,
Daniel, talk about your favorite. I don't know. He's leaving, so
he's gone. Goodbye. He's like,
Goodbye.
Blossom Tales developer followed me. I don't need this podcast anymore.
Daniel show again.
Everybody loves the Daniel show. Anyways, the concept art is so scary. That is one scary.
Well, it's like your favorite. Come on.
So, looking through it, just like skimming through all of it, I think I would have really liked this. Like, he said it was like a city in the sky with a windmill. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong one. But it looks like it's really just on really precarious cliffs.
Oh yeah, the one that's like really like stacked up on the different little rocks there.
Yeah, and that would have been a really fun village to explore. I imagine just based off the motif of the buildings and stuff, I think that would have been an early Rito village. Yeah. Which would make sense because no humans or Hylians would reasonably live in a place like that.
Yeah, because if you look at it, there's no way to get to any other platform aside from flying.
Exactly. But with the climbing in Breath of the Wild, this would have been a really cool place to explore.
And knowing
the Rito
Nintendo,
Village-
they would put stuff everywhere in here.
But the Rito Village we got was like basically a spiral staircase, and that was not as fun as this looks, in my opinion. But it is. It's just like,
yeah.
just it's just a spiral staircase. But these little huts hanging from trees and stuff, they look very bird nesty, and it totally is the Rito stuff. Because
Oh,
if
I
you
didn't
look at
even
the
realize
design-
they were actually hanging from trees. Yeah.
they're hanging from the branches.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
And there's like the little flight platforms. Like there's one on the top, like a
Yeah.
little flight platform. I
Yeah,
want
no,
that.
I think this is a much cooler design than what they ended up going with.
Yeah, so sad. I'm not sure if this other one looks more. The one next to it, which is also a precarious cliff village with a windmill. I don't know if this is also supposed to be Rito, or what.
Well, there's like this giant bird on top, so this kind of says Rito to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it has like there's banners on the top that have the Zora symbol, but it's red, which implies Rito to me. They've got the more red motifs on their clothing and stuff.
So I feel more like maybe the artists were like, "Hey, this looks like it's cool. That's the wrong symbol, but this is cool.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
glad
color it. People won't notice."
Yeah, no. Well, what it is in Wind Waker the Rito symbol was still just the Zora symbol because that made sense.
Oh yeah.
But then they changed the Rito symbol in Breath of the Wild because they just gave us both the Zora and the Rito. So, yeah.
I mean, that works. That works. I'm not mad at that.
No.
Also, I love this little walrus dude.
The sand seal?
Yeah, oh, that's a sand seal. Oh my gosh, he's adorable. He
Isn't
looks
it a
like
sand
he's.
seal? Am I wrong?
I don't know. I think you're right. I think he's a sand seal.
Because there's the plushie of him, which is actually in the game.
Yeah, I can see because like it's
right.
actual. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that is the sand seal. He's adorable. I do like the version they went with, but these guys, like, I would want one of those in my room.
You want a sand seal plushie?
Yep. Only if they're as adorable as these ones. And like, what's with all the sand seal themed furniture? Is this Animal Crossing?
Yes.
Can I put this in my house?
I think Jesse mentioned the sort of the Sheikah dude that's wearing like the Sheikah armor that you actually get as like that you can buy in Kakariko Village. But I think he's actually in the game. He's in one of the memories he yells "Princess" in like the last memory. He yells at Zelda.
Oh yeah. Well, it's hard to say because if you look at this, it actually has two different faces. Like the guy wearing it, he's got eyeliner. He's angry.
Yeah,
He's beautiful.
He's got the tattoo.
The random face shot, like in the corner, I don't know who he is.
He's
a random dude.
He's just another Sheikah guy.
He's just some old man with very angry eyebrows. Why do they all have such angry eyebrows? Are they okay?
No, they're angry. There's all these villagers. I don't think we actually see them in the game at all. There's like one with like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So two are the same. I guess they're twins. But like 5 villagers, and
Yeah.
they're not in the game at all. But there's a kid with like a scythe. I don't know. She's like doing this weird hand thing. I don't know what she's doing.
I also feel like that big guy with the bird.
Sign.
He feels like what's his name from Ocarina of Time with all the
Alright, guys.
peas. Or the
the
beans.
magic bean guy.
Yeah.
I just helped plan a surprise birthday. So.
For me?
Wow.
Yes. No, for
my
my
birthday.
grandmother.
Oh.
Yeah. So, are we done with this? We can move on.
Basically, yeah.
Alright.
We've
Yeah.
Set
We've
there.
we've covered it to death. Our viewers hate us already.
All right, Daniel, do you want to
Even
take us
Gus
to
left.
one of our next pieces of news? Either.
Yes. Let me just open it up here.
1 hour 13.
So the one you skipped before, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which is a game we all are looking forward to, I'm sure.
Ooh, Call of Duty, my favorite.
Will not have traditional single-player campaign.
No, why not,
So-
Daniel? That seems like
I don't know. I guess it's because that was the only part of Black Ops, the one that I played, that I found interesting. But oh well. Call of Duty I'm just gonna give you a little blurb from the article, which comes, by the way, from Polygon.com.
Yes.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4 won't include a traditional single-player story mode according to sources with knowledge of the project's status. The shift in creative direction will make Black Ops 4 the first mainline Call of Duty to ship without the standard campaign. When reached for comment, an Activision spokesperson said, "We don't comment on rumor and speculation." That's all. Wasn't a no. But they're going to be revealing more about Black Ops 4 on May 17th.
Ooh, so all of you Call of Duty fans out there.
I know that our viewer base is mostly Call of Duty fans, not Nintendo fans.
The summary of this rumor is that Black Ops 4 was leaked a while back. That was the big rumor from everyone that the next game was going to be Black Ops 4, because the Black Ops line of Call of Duty games are traditionally the ones that make the most money and sell the most. So that rumor leaked, and then it was confirmed, and then the most recent rumor was that it was going to have a Battle Royale mode included with its multiplayer, because traditionally it has the normal multiplayer and then it has zombies. And the third, like if you looked at Call of Duty Black Ops and 3 pillars, there is the single player story mode, there is the zombies, and then there is the normal multiplayer. And the rumor suggested that they were not able to finish or get the story mode to like a place quality wise that they would be happy with. So they ended up just putting more focus on something to replace the story mode, which Battle Royales games are becoming more and more popular with, like PUBG and Fortnite and other games. So the thought,
everyone says PUBG, but I always said PUBG.
Yeah, that's how I always read it. And then people,
my new favorite game, PUBG.
Yeah. So essentially, the thought is at launch it's going to release with this Battle Royale mode. And then Call of Duty is always famous for getting tons and tons of DLC. And the thought is one of the DLC packs is going to be the story mode DLC pack. Now you might ask, why release the game if it's not finished yet? Games have been doing
money.
Yeah, and games have been doing that for a long time. If you remember, Street Fighter V released, and it was just the multiplayer mode, and then they released the single player part of Street Fighter V later on. Everybody complained about that as well. But with this, like with fighting games, I would say 90% of the people buy it for the multiplayer. Like, you're not buying it just for the single player. You're buying the fighting game to, like, you're not buying Smash Brothers to play a single player game. You're buying Smash Brothers to play with your friends, which is something that Nintendo, they took out the single player story mode with Smash Brothers on Wii U and 3DS.
They gave us the board game instead.
Oh,
so then,
yay! Wonderful.
Yeah, and then what was it? So with Call of Duty, a lot of people play the single player, but there are a lot of people that buy it and don't even play the single player. They just go straight to the multiplayer, and that's why they buy the games. So it kind of, in a way, makes sense. Like, what was it? The first Battle or Star Wars game, Battlefront, didn't have a single player, and people were like, you should put a single player in the game. So then Battlefront 2 had a single player, but nobody cared about it because they were too busy complaining about the microtransactions.
Right.
And then there was another game that had like a single player mode that was shoehorned in, and everybody complained, but I forgot the name of it. So it was the one Xbox. The first one was an Xbox One console exclusive, and then the second one came to PlayStation 4. And you're like in the giant robots fighting and stuff.
Titanfall.
Yeah,
Was it that? Is that?
I think it was
is that
Titanfall.
Yeah, Titanfall.
So
yeah,
it
Titanfall.
released,
Okay.
and it had a lot
Good
of
job, Daniel.
comparisons.
You don't know what that game is. Good job.
Call of Duty Advanced Warfare came out at the time, and it had people in like giant robot tech suits, like Iron Man suits, basically, for the multiplayer. And then a lot of people were comparing it to Titanfall, and then
no one thought to say Gundam,
yeah,
but okay.
People liked Titanfall, and they were like, hey, why doesn't it have a single player mode? So they made a single player mode, but then nobody liked the single player mode. And I guess with the Call of Duty, they're just like, hey, if only half the people are playing our single player story mode, and out of those half that are playing it, only half of them actually like it, then if 90% of the people are buying our game for the multiplayer, then let's just go all in on multiplayer and give them all of these different multiplayer modes. And then we can release the story DLC for like $10 or $20 for the people who want to pay for it later
See,
on.
as long as they don't like put a price on it and release it, I'm fine with that. That's cool. But if they're like, yeah, pay $10 for our single player mode that probably should have came with this game anyways.
This is an ethics issue now. So,
Sorry.
Well,
Anyways.
it's like, okay, so if Smash Brothers on Wii U, like it released, and then it had all of its character and level DLC, but if like a year after it released, if they were like, hey, here is the single player story mode for $15, would you have complained about that?
I probably wouldn't have gotten it, honestly.
No. Daniel would have bought it.
I don't know. I probably would have bought it, but here's the thing: is that what I liked, like the main
does it
reason
come
I
with its
played
own
the
amiibo?
What amiibo?
Yeah, well, Labo
the
amiibo.
main-
It's just a piece of cardboard on an NFC chip.
NFC, yeah. The main thing that I played, well, I can't remember what it's called, Subspace Emissary in Brawl. The main reason I played that was to unlock the characters. And that was pretty much the fun of it, was just getting all the characters and stuff. Going back and replaying through it, it felt kind of like a chore. Like, it was fine, it was fun enough, but that's not really what you go into Smash for, I don't know.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I thought, like, when it was announced that it wasn't going to have that, I was like, oh, alright. But then, actually getting the game, I didn't miss it. So, I wasn't too bummed. I thought I would miss it, but then once I was playing, I was like, this is more fun without it. So, if they released it later, like, I don't see how much fun it would be, because I'm like, the whole point of the single player would be to unlock stuff. But at this
And at that
point,
point,
like
you
a
would
year
have unlocked
later, I've
everything.
unlocked it. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, what's the point? I don't know. Might have bought it anyways. So I'm a
Yeah,
sucker.
honestly, that's just how Daniel goes, though. Daniel buys anything. He's like,
I'm such a sucker.
buy Breath of the Wild for every console ever? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, get
And
it on my
DLCs too?
Dreamcast.
Nice.
I came so close to buying Breath of the Wild had normal edition, and then for the holiday season they had the Explorers edition that had like different artwork and stuff, and it came with the book, and I was so close to buying it just for the book, but it was like I already owned the game, so I ended up not doing it.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, we went from a Call of Duty news story to talking about Nintendo because that shows who we are.
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It's just
Sorry
who
to
we are.
anyone in the chat that is, or anyone of the 15 people that are watching
Yeah.
right now. We're sorry if
So,
we were hurting your feelings
this was-
because we don't like Call of Duty.
Well, this was basically one of the things that prompted the topic of discussion, which we'll be having here in a bit, about if we could pick 5 Nintendo IPs to create like a bizarre, wacky battle royale mode with like Nintendo games. This is what kind of prompted that. But Kayla, would you like to take us to our last news story with Final Fantasy VII?
Final Fantasy VII remake.
My face is itching where it's like it's starting to peel more. So like if you see me
Your
like scratching
sunburn.
my nose or my forehead Forgive me.
All
I
right.
won't.
Yeah.
So this article comes from IGN. Alex Osborne is writing about Square Enix aims to create a title that surpasses the original Final Fantasy VII with its upcoming remake for the PS4. And I personally have a really hard time when people start talking about the Final Fantasy VII remake because it has been a thing that has been happening for such a long time. So every time I talk about it, like my hopes, they go up, and then it doesn't happen for a couple of years, so it goes back down. So, oh yeah, there we go. So originally the remake was planned to be released in multiple parts, which I guess kind of makes sense. But they haven't really figured out if that's still part of like Square Enix's plan for the game.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that was complaining about that at first, but then I was like, if we waited for the full game, Final Fantasy 15, which was originally Final Fantasy Versus 13, took like 10 years to come out.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I can just wait 3 years and get part 1 of the game, I would much rather do that than waiting 10 years to get the full game. Because if they do it as it's releasing in 3 separate parts, the original game was on 3 separate discs. So they could release the first disc as the first game, the second disc as part 2, and the third disc as part 3. And I would be completely happy with that. It would make sense for like the way that the games themselves were parted out.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like with Breath of the Wild. It's like, would you have wanted, or not Breath of the Wild, sorry, Final Fantasy X. Like, if it, waiting for the full game, if that means waiting 10 years before I can play it, when, like, who knows if I'll even be alive in 10 years. Like, you know, getting dark on the podcast. But yeah, that's the stuff that I think about, is like, I would much rather wait and play like half of the game in a few years as opposed to waiting an entire decade to when I'll be like going on, like I'll be a few years away from like being 40 years old. And then it's like right now everybody's hope is to play Final Fantasy VII HD on their PlayStation 4s and their Xbox Ones. Realistically, it's probably going to be a launch title for the PlayStation 5. But if we had to wait until the full game was finished, it would probably be a launch title on the PlayStation 6.
Yeah, and actually looking at this article, it talks about how they were seeking level planners to increase its quality another step higher. So that kind of, like, they had basically put out a posting urgently seeking additional talent. So to me, that's kind of like, where are you right now? What are your real plans?
Well,
have you guys not been working on it?
However,
like,
they forgot to develop the game.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we can make this game.
Well, the funny part was, whenever they announced the game, the director was the director for Final Fantasy 15. And in an interview later on, he said that he found out that he was the director for the game when everyone else did. So, the first trailer that they showed off with the first gameplay and stuff, he had nothing to do with that, even though he was the official director for the game. He didn't know that he was going to be working on the project until his name popped up on the screen, and then it was a surprise to him. So that shows either Square was keeping it a super, super secret to where, like, the director of the game didn't even know he was working on it,
or they're very unorganized.
Yeah. Which I would say unorganized, because like with Final Fantasy 15, it was delayed forever, and then they had an official release date reveal where they it was an entire press conference just for Final Fantasy 15. They showed off the anime they were working on, they showed off the anime movie they were working on, they showed off more of the gameplay. They ended it, I believe they ended it with the official release date. So the whole thing was tied around them revealing the release date. The release date was leaked a few hours before the event started. So while it was counting down to the big reveal, everyone already knew what it was. So that's how bad of like organizing that was. And then the entire event that was planned around this release date, the release date ended up being delayed again.
Yeah.
After they had the huge event for the thing. So it's like, yeah, it's just a huge mess. And now we had a news story a few weeks ago, where the director of the game, who was the director of Final Fantasy 15, is now, he has his own studio, Luminous Studios. So it's like, is he still the director of Final Fantasy 7, or has he moved on to the new project with his new studio where he's like starting over from scratch? But the good thing about this is they said they were going to be using Unreal Engine 4 for Final Fantasy 7, because it would allow them to produce the game a lot faster than using their own engine that they used in Final Fantasy 15. So if they chose the engine so they could work on the game easier, then I guess like that's a good thing for people to wait on.
Yeah.
But I remember there was an interview where they were asked about, are you ever going to make a Final Fantasy 7 remake? Because at this time they had made the Final Fantasy 10 remake and stuff. And they said they would not release a Final Fantasy 7 remake. Like, they said they knew that it would make money and stuff, but they didn't want to make a remake of Final Fantasy 7 until they made a new Final Fantasy game that was generally thought of as better than Final Fantasy 7. So they wanted to make one...
trying to raise the expectations even higher for Final Fantasy 7? That's what I'm getting from that.
Yeah. Well, it was like...
Yes.
Because what it was, like, Final Fantasy 13 at the time was the newest game whenever the interview took place. And Final Fantasy 13 had very, very mixed reviews. A lot of people hated it and a lot of people liked it. But Final Fantasy 7, most people generally liked it. And the director was basically just saying, until they made another Final Fantasy game that was without a doubt better than any of the other Final Fantasy games that they made, including 7, then they wouldn't remake 7, because they didn't want to feel like they were just going back to remake something just to get like a quick cash grab. So
it's the cash grab we want.
Yeah. Well, it's like Nintendo and Ocarina of Time HD. It's like it's the one remake everybody
That's the cash grab
wants.
we didn't ask for, but we loved anyways.
Well, that was the 3D version. I'm saying like if they made an HD.
We want HD.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Like it would be a quick cash grab, but like everybody would still buy it. Is the thing. It's like people want it. Anyways, are you a big Final Fantasy fan, Daniel?
Well, as much as you and Holly shamed me last time for talking about it, I haven't played a whole lot of Final Fantasy. 7 being the only one I've actually played. So, I mean, I would like to see the remake kind of come to fruition. There's a lot of stuff that I just okay. So the thing is though is that with RPGs, I just want them to, like, they changed a lot of stuff. It seems very real-time action and stuff, so I don't know how well that would translate to, like, the turn-based action of the original game. I don't know. Obviously, if they're taking this long, they're not rushing the product, so as much as it pains people, I have faith in their intentions to just make the game good by constantly not rushing it out, you know what I mean? So that's... I don't know, but I'll be patient. So,
like at this point, seeing where Final Fantasy is at, especially like graphics wise, like I don't mind. Like Final Fantasy 7 is going to look great.
Yeah.
So you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna forget about this remake ever happening, and then it's finally gonna happen, and I'll be like,
yeah,
I've waited so long.
Yeah. Like when the original gameplay was shown off, it was for the base PlayStation 4, or at least that's what it was designed to be for. But now there is the PlayStation 4 Pro, which makes games look even better, but I think this game isn't even going, like, part 1 isn't going to release until PlayStation 5 is about to come out. So if it ends up being a launch title for the PlayStation 5, then it could end up looking even better than it already is. And
Hmm.
like the gameplay itself looks good because it looks like very similar to the style from Final Fantasy 15, which a lot of people liked. So the game, like, we know the story is going to be good because it has the original story. The gameplay looks like it's going to be good. So the game overall is going to be at least good, I imagine. Because it would take a lot to screw this up. Like, they already have the story, which is good. The gameplay is looking good, and the graphics look good. So
Yeah.
for this to come out and be bad, they would they would have to try and make this a bad game.
Yeah.
I would imagine. So,
But yeah, what's nice is that like Final Fantasy VII is a very story-driven game, and it'll be cool to see those story elements kind of brought to life in a way that it will age better than the original PS1 game. I don't know. That's more exciting to me than like any of the gameplay changes. Is just seeing all those, you know, the cutscenes and the story moments just kind of updated like that. Especially my main man, my BFF Barrett, like looks way cooler in the remake. So yeah, that's my thought.
This also makes me wonder, do you think there would be a possibility of this coming to the Switch? Since, you know, Cloud popped up in Smash Brothers?
That's a good point.
And then, like, Square... okay, so I mentioned that Square was making Final Fantasy VII in Unreal Engine 4, so it would be easier to work on and develop for in case they ran into like bugs or other issues. So the interesting thing is with Final Fantasy 15, when they had an interview and they were talking about the possibility of it coming to the Switch, they said they were working with Nintendo and Epic Games. Epic Games is the people that create the Unreal Engine. And they said that they thought it would be easier if they were to do a port for the Switch to completely change the engine from the Luminous engine to Unreal Engine. So they could get Final Fantasy 15 hopefully running on the Switch easier. With this being designed from the ground up with Unreal Engine, there is a higher possibility of this being on the Nintendo Switch as opposed to Final Fantasy 15. Because now the Switch is already out. It's being designed in the engine they know can run on the Switch. So it's not like they are designing it for something that they have no idea about. Which was, you know, when Final Fantasy 15 started 10 years ago, the Wii U wasn't even announced yet. So that was 2 generations ago. Like, Wii was Nintendo's big console. And then while 15 was in development, they had the Wii U and now the Switch. And it finally releases when the Switch is popular or whatever. So it would take a lot to completely change that to work on something that they had no plans on originally working with. But with Final Fantasy VII Remake, they're developing it alongside the Switch, which is like gaining its success and popularity and stuff. So if there was like a 30% chance of Final Fantasy 15 coming to the Switch, I would say there's like a 75% chance of 7, because it's already in the engine that they were wanting to convert Final Fantasy 15 to, so it could be on the Switch, and they already know the Switch is a success. So it's something they could already be planning out, which could be yet another reason why they want to wait and like release the game into 3 parts as opposed to waiting the entire 10 years. Because if they're making it for all the different consoles, then like that would take longer. Like Breath of the Wild was delayed for so many months because they had to port it to the Switch. Anyways, I'm ranting. You guys get the point. Do you think Final Fantasy VII HD coming to the Switch or not?
I would like that.
Yeah.
I think there'd be a good chance. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm in support.
Alright. I guess that covers all of the news. We can do the topics of discussion and then do a few questions.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Woo!
Alright. I will do a new intro for the topic of discussion, and then a new intro for the mailbag. Everybody in the chat, get your questions ready, but don't post them until the mailbag actually starts. Right now we're going to do the topic of discussion. So you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. What's up, everybody? I am Jesse, or Game Over Jesse, as all of you may know me. Here with me is Kayla and Daniel for our top 5 discussion. Today we are going to be discussing 5 crazy, odd Nintendo games that could be turned into a Battle Royale style game. Just imagine 100 Marios dropping out of a plane, just like in Fortnite. And you're running around an island, jumping on everyone's head as Mario. It's wacky, it's bizarre, but it's a fun discussion. So we have a list already of 3 games. Mario, Zelda, and Splatoon. And we're going to discuss how each of these 3 games could work as a Fortnite, PUBG style Battle Royale game. And then Daniel and Kayla are both going to pick their own game that they would like to see as a Battle Royale style game. We picked Splatoon because it's the closest that Nintendo has to the shooters already available with Battle Royale styles. Mario and Zelda are their 2 most popular franchises, and as you all know, we love Zelda here, so we're going to be discussing how Nintendo could magically make them into, like, how would that even work? A Zelda Battle Royale game. So we're going to be discussing that and then ending it on Kayla and Daniel's 2 unique games. So, starting our list off, Splatoon. Again,
yes,
because
the one that makes the most sense.
Yes. So, with this, as we already said, it just makes so much sense. Like, if Splatoon 2 does not release with DLC, like at next year's E3 it gets announced that it's going to have a Battle Royale style mode. We've seen Splatoon 2 finally got its first big piece of DLC, which they also used to finally reveal Smash Brothers. So if they're making such a big deal out of Splatoon to where they use it to finally announce Smash Brothers, I could see them doing at least one more big DLC pack. And honestly, I don't think it would take too much for them to create this Battle Royale style game. Like, instead of, right now it's 4-on-4 for the teams, right?
Oh, you can do 5-on-5.
5-on-5? Alright, so if it's 5-on-5 for the teams, then I think to get a true Battle Royale style game, you would at least need to get 50 players. If you can't reach the full 100, you could do at least 50. And I think Nintendo would easily be able to create a map big enough to host 10 different teams as opposed to just 2. Like right now, even, I think you could comfortably put 4 teams on some of the larger maps in Splatoon 2. Much more than that, it would feel a bit cramped. But then you would also get a lot of cool things, like if there's the red ink, the blue ink, the orange ink, the yellow ink, or whatever, then you're not just covering up one team's ink, you're covering up other team's ink. So it's like, and then other teams are trying to cover up your ink. I think it would be really crazy and really fun.
So are you thinking like a Battle Royale turf war? Because that would be crazy.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. And what if you want to do like an all-for-one Battle Royale in Splatoon?
Just splatting each other till one is remaining?
Yeah. Heck yeah.
That's kind of how what I was thinking you meant initially when you were talking about Battle Royale.
Just like a one versus all?
Like,
I think that would probably make most sense.
50 inklings, free for all.
They could do both. Like right now in Fortnite, they have teams to where, well, they have solo, They have
Did you just hit your elbow?
Yes, I did.
so they have solo to where it's you versus the 99 other people. They have duos to where it's you and one friend versus teams of 2. Like, so there's 50 teams of 2. And then there are squads to where it's any number of 1, 2, 3, or 4 versus any number of 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then they just added in 50 versus 50 to where it's 2 giant teams of 50 fighting each other. And if Splatoon, like, in any of these, I would want to see at least 2 or 3 different modes. So, like, one for all, or like a free for all type thing, Battle Royale, or the teams of 4, teams of 5 against everyone. Teams of 5 would be cool, since Kayla mentioned that there was already teams of 5. For some reason, I was thinking teams of 4, but so 10 players total. I guess that makes sense. Maybe I'm just remembering the game wrong. Anyways, what kind of stuff would you like to see in this, Kayla? You touched on it briefly, but like, what would your overall thoughts on Splatoon Battle Royale DLC? And do you think it's something that could actually happen, since it is the closest Nintendo has to that type of game right now?
I think so, actually. Like, I feel like Splatoon has a really good potential for that, especially with how big it is, like Splatfest and such. Like, I feel like a lot of people would really like to do that sort of thing. My biggest thing is I would love to see skins, like, being able to play, like, different skins as, I don't know, of the other characters in the game. I don't know why, but I can't remember anyone's name in Splatoon.
No, I thought you were gonna say something.
Like, I thought of something, but I didn't want to interrupt Kayla.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I was just going to say, like, it would be an easy cash grab. I say that as if it's a bad thing, but it's not. Like, when I say cash grab, it's something that Nintendo could do to easily get millions of dollars. But if they just released, like, different Nintendo-themed costumes, or even had Nintendo, like, third-party costumes, like in the same way that in Rocket League or these other third-party games, you can have Nintendo-themed stuff, even though they're not Nintendo games. So maybe, like, with what's the name of it? Shovel Knight is an example. If you could get Shovel Knight armor in Splatoon, to where, like, you got the blue Shovel Knight armor while you're, like, running around and stuff, like, have stuff like that to where it's like, here's a pack of 3 or 4 costumes for $5 or $2 or whatever the price would be, and then you can just in the same way that you can get, like, different shoes and hats and stuff in the game already, just have it to where it's like, I want to dress up like Luigi, or I want to dress up like Peach, Mario, Shovel Knight,
exactly.
Castlevania characters, whoever.
Also, you would definitely need, like, a wider weapon set, I think, just because, like, they only have a couple, like, the splatter shot, the paintbrush. I don't remember.
There's a lot of different weapons. It's just the variety, like, of types is limited.
Yeah.
But you've basically got, like, automatics, melee, snipers.
Yeah.
And the dualies is the new one.
That seems to be, like, Nintendo's problem
dualies.
Anyways. Like, in Breath of the Wild, a lot of people's issue is the lack of variety. So, like, instead of having a lot of different enemies, you have a few different types of enemies, but then those individual enemies have different types. So, like, there's the fire Lizalfos, water, thunder, whatever. And then that's the same thing in Splatoon, to where it's like, there are tons and tons of different weapons, but each of those weapons are in their own little category. So it's like, there's 6 different versions of the same weapon, and yeah. So, what are your thoughts on that, Daniel? Like, do you think it's something that you could see?
I hate them too. I don't know why everyone always goes for that one.
They're not useful. Because here's the thing, someone comes at me on a roller and they start running towards me, and I'm running backwards away from them at the same pace, so they can't catch me, and I just shoot them. It's done.
I hate the ink brush is the one that I hate the most.
Oh, yeah. Can't do it.
Because it's like a slightly
the buckets
faster...
are annoying too.
I never really played with the buckets, to be honest. So
I'm trying to remember what I usually use. Was like the the end zap, the one that looks like the Nintendo Zapper or the
Oh.
Dualies were
Yep.
somewhat useful. But then the rolling in the Dualies, like, fundamentally is kind of the same as just swimming. But anyways, we're talking about more the Battle Royale part.
Yeah, do you think
Yeah,
it's
no.
I just
something
started
that could
thinking about
actually
Splatoon in
happen?
general, but I'd love that. I think that would be fun. Just like but like more game modes is always good. You know,
Yeah,
give me more
exactly.
game. I'm fine with
Yeah.
that. So if
Uh,
that was something like they ever did a Splatoon 3, and that was something they wanted to include in it, that would be okay with me.
Yeah, we have some
Um,
interesting comments. Tivy Bear says, I can see Splatoon working with the Battle Royale. Maybe introduce some new weapons along with it, which is what Daniel was saying. Damien says, I hate blasters until you meet Carbon Roller.
Yeah,
A
that's
Carbon Roller?
Yeah.
I don't...
one of the weapons.
Okay.
It's a roller. It's still annoying.
What if they did something like Star Wars Battlefront, where you grab a
Right.
token and you can become one of the idols in this Splatoon Battle Royale game? What kind of idols would you become, though? Like Sunshine Mario?
Callie and Marie. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that would be
those were
cool.
the names I was trying to remember. I would love to be Marie.
And then there was
And
who were the...
Marina and Pearl and Marina were
Yeah.
the Splatoon 2 ones.
So did
Mhm.
you guys see the controversy with Pearl and Marina? To where like
No.
their name, like, it's a Japanese game
Mhm.
based off the ocean or whatever, like ocean animals,
Mhm.
where like there was some sort of radioactivity or whatever, and these squids turned into like weird squid kids or whatever
Yeah.
the story is.
Squid's
so-
kids.
What were the characters' names again?
Pearl and Marina?
Yeah, Pearl and Marina.
Yeah.
So Marina would be like a different word for harbor. So like
Mhm.
Pearl Harbor, which is
that's
where
really that's
Yeah. there was a huge controversy when it
controversy?
was named, because it was like Pearl Harbor, which was the place where Japan like
Mhm.
bombed America during the World War II, and then all of the characters are like mutated, whatever. So
Yeah.
there was a lot of people. It's like, was this purposefully named like this, or?
That's not. No.
And then
I feel like it's just like digging too far into it.
Well,
like,
that's what
you
I
have to like.
thought.
You actually have to change one of the characters' names for this conspiracy theory of yours to make sense.
Well, no,
I feel like
it
this
wasn't
is another
mine.
thing where people like see something in Nintendo and they're like, "Hey, let's blow this totally out of proportion."
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
It doesn't-
I
don't
had the
understand.
thought whenever I seen this, and I was like, well, it would be the translation team that would be giving them the name, like Pearl and Marina. So it would be Nintendo of America naming them that, unless the Japanese names for them are literally like whatever the translation of Pearl and Harbor is. Which,
But I thought like Marina's actually a real name
yeah,
that I know people named Marina, and
So is
It's like,
Pearl. I know people named Pearl.
too. But my point is that it's an aquatic themed name that's a real name as well. Like, I don't know, but I'm just, why people? Why are you?
However, on the topic of it being a good battle royale game, as someone that goes and works at Nintendo events, I feel like a battle royale would be amazing to demo. That would be just so hilarious and so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Instead of having like two teams, it would be like people just all against each other. However, I felt like we had too many TVs when we were doing Splatoon 2 for events, so
I don't know. Well, did you guys have to demo it in docked mode though, so people don't wander off with the Switch?
yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
had big TVs, so every Switch had its own TV. So
Right.
we had 8 TVs hooked up, and then we had the 9th hooked up for spectator, and so everyone had.
It's a lot of power.
I know
That's a
we had
lot
the
of
Joy-Con
electricity.
like slotted into the controllers.
Okay.
Gibbs in the chat says Jesse shaved.
Yes, I'm not the only one who noticed.
Yeah.
I didn't notice when he first came into Skype today, so I am so sorry.
Yeah,
You know,
did
I shaved too, but
because
no
you
one
won at
noticed.
Fortnite? Yes, I shaved
shaved.
because we won at Fortnite.
Jesse shaves. Everyone starts commenting.
Yeah. No, so I guess we can move on to the next one. But what are your final thoughts on Splatoon Battle Royale?
So of the ones
10
that
out
we
of 10.
God, yeah, no, that's the one that makes the most sense, and I can actually see it happening.
All right.
It's only gonna get crazier from here.
So,
Yep.
number 2 would be Zelda. How, like, if there was a Splatoon, or not Splatoon, but if like there was a top 5 ideas from Nintendo to make franchises into a battle royale, I would assume they would go with Mario, obviously, because it's Mario's in tennis, baseball. Mario does everything.
Mario. He's an amazing guy.
The only
He even parties.
No. Here's the thing.
He does party.
The only
Mario's
game
my kind of man.
that Mario's never been in is an actual plumbing game.
I don't want to play a plumbing
Like,
game.
in no game has Mario ever been an actual plumber.
If you give Mario a plunger, I am out of here. I am donezo.
It's true.
So, with like he's been a doctor, baseball player, basketball player. Like Daniel, we did I think you were in that video.
Wait, did he do?
Where he was,
basketball?
Yeah, the basketball where he was playing, like it was cartoon Mario playing with realistic NBA players.
Oh,
on
and
the
it's
Gamecube.
super weird. Yeah.
So like you had super cartoony Mario and Peach and everyone, but then you had like super realistic actual NBA players that were like scanned to make it look even more. Anyways, weird stuff, Nintendo. That's like, people didn't like that with Sonic. For some reason they're making the new Sonic movie half live action, half animated.
Why are they making a Sonic movie in the first place?
Because Nintendo's making
here's
a Mario movie.
here's something.
So Sega's like,
the director
too.
the director of Deadpool 1 is going to be one of the people in charge of the Sonic movie.
I'm already concerned.
Yeah. So, maybe there'll be a lot of lewd jokes, which is, nobody really wants that, because especially if it's going to be like half live action and then half animated, that gives everyone thoughts back to like live action, or not live action, but like the realistic looking human girl that Sonic was in a relationship with in Sonic 06.
Princess girl.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest complaints people had.
Because it's weird.
Yeah, and then it's like,
I mean, no shame to furries, you know, but...
yeah. No, but like, I remember I was watching a podcast where they were making fun of it, and it was like around, like when YouTube first started getting big, there was a lot of people making their own like live action fan Sonic movies, and it was like talking, like he made a joke about like, oh, it's the average kid at school, but then he finds these sneakers that make him super fast, and then there's his buddy Tails who's really good at electronics. And it's like trying to make a live action Sonic movie work, and now they're actually doing it, which before it was just like a meme joke, and now like why make a live action Sonic movie? Anyways,
Ruining all the video games. Anyways,
Zelda Battle Royale. Sorry,
Zelda Battle
Mario's
Royale.
next. Zelda Battle Royale. How would it
Link
work?
can't be in it. That's...
Link can't... I say
can't
put
be in
all
it.
the links in it.
No!
Give us
like
Toon
very
Link,
opposite
Skyward
approaches.
Sword Link,
I feel like
Deku
a
Link.
Zelda Battle Royale would actually kind of work, because we have Hyrule Warriors, so if you kind of mesh the
okay.
two together, I feel like that's an actual thing.
So Daniel, were you thinking Battle Royale with specifically just guns?
No.
No, you don't have to do it with just
No.
guns.
You could do it with other weapons.
You
My
have
thought
You
was
could
like you
kill
take other
someone with
characters
literally
or races.
anything.
You have crossbows, bow and arrows. There is a rocket
Yeah.
launcher in Twilight Princess.
That's true. That you don't get to use,
Yeah.
but it's there.
But
See,
yeah,
my thought
it's
is
like
that instead of Link and like 100 links, is you take the WoW approach. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. But
the World of Warcraft, or just
sort of the character customization where you choose a race from any of the Zelda universe races. So you could
That's
choose your
racist.
character to be a Goron, Zora, Gerudo, Hylian. I would imagine that they'd have different
But Daniel,
sort of advantages and
the
disadvantages.
Rito and the
so-
Zora can't live at the same time.
No, both will be available. and
They
and then
can't.
like so your
The
Hylians would be
timeline.
sort of your basic, your balanced character. whereas Gorons would be like slower but stronger, and
Okay, interrupting
that sort
you.
of thing.
Twilight, on the last podcast during the mailbag, we talked about our favorite designs of the Gorons or whatever, and we mentioned some of the Gorons have like the volcanoes on their back.
Yeah.
How do they roll?
Uncomfortably.
Like they would like lean forward. They would get to like
they
the
get
heart.
that bump.
Yeah, and then they would just fall. Because like the point of the Gorons is like they have their round back. That way they can roll.
I'm sure they'd find a way.
But then like the lava would spill out of their back.
Yeah, there's like steam coming out. There's something in
Yeah.
there. I don't know, man. This doesn't
Is
make
lava
any sense.
their blood?
Ew! Maybe
Their blood is lava?
guys.
The floor is
Enough
lava.
trying to ruin all of the Zelda theories.
Hellhound in
see
the
a Goron
chat
Link?
says, I would buy that immediately. A Zelda MMO. This would kind of be an MMO.
What?
Like massive multiplayer
Yeah.
online.
Yeah. This would be it would be
Also-
very cool
So,
in my opinion.
and-
You just
In that sense, this would be a Zelda MMO. Because there would be massive amounts of multiple people playing online. So
yeah.
it's literally
It
the
just-
definition. It's just not
It wouldn't
the
be an
adventure
MMO RPG,
Yeah, it would be.
but it would still be MMO.
Alright. So if we can play as like Rito, Zora, Kikiri, Deku Scrubs, Gorons,
Going all out.
Yiga Clan.
Including the scrubs.
Yeah. Well, because they can like go in and like pop out and then
That's true.
shoot
People
bubbles at people.
no, they can't have that
No,
because then people
so-
will just camp in the
Here.
ground.
Okay. Let's use Pokemon science on this.
Okay.
Okay. So is a Deku Scrub their bubble attacks?
I thought they shoot
They shoot
Deku nuts at you.
No, like in Majora's
What?
Mask.
You can
the
shoot bubbles. Yeah.
In Majora's Mask, but like in enemy
that-
Deku Scrubs that appear in the
would that
games.
qualify as a water attack?
I guess.
Because it would be like spit.
Be
though,
using
wouldn't
its
it?
own water from its life force.
Yeah.
Maybe it sucks up water from its roots in the ground.
Well, plants take in
Spits
water,
it,
so
you know? Yeah.
this works.
So,
So that would be a water
makes
attack,
sense.
not a grass type attack.
I still think he would be okay if we had to give a Deku Scrub a Pokemon type.
It would be
It would
like
be I think a
primary,
water grass type.
Yeah,
A grass type would be the primary with water is
yeah.
secondary.
So that would be its water attack,
Yeah.
and then like when it has the flowers that it spins with the petals.
Mhm.
So those would be like grass attacks, I guess, or like its twirly thing that it does would be like
Right.
grass type. I don't know. Anyways, I'm asking this because in Majora's Mask, if you're playing as Goron Link and you
Yeah.
get into water, it's like an automatic KO.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the same goes like if you're any other thing and you get in the lava, it's automatic as well. But the point is that I'm trying to make. Would this make the Deku better of a choice than the Gorons?
I guess that
Because
depends on the battlefield.
if you can
the
keep
terrain.
using the bubble water attack on the Goron. But then you have the question of like, if you're a Goron, maybe that would be the best. Because as long as you don't run out of magic, you can just roll around with the spikes, hitting everyone, and you're too fast for them to catch up.
It's true. But if you've got Z targeting,
Yeah.
or L targeting, I guess, so you can see which game I grew up with. L targeting.
Yeah.
You just lock onto them and you shoot them with a
There's so
I don't
many
know,
different
bomb arrow.
possibilities.
Bomb arrows. There you go.
All right,
That would be
Kayla.
their weakness.
What kind of gameplay mechanics would you like to see in this? Daniel and I have been talking for a bit.
Yes.
So, what about you?
Tell us
Kayla?
things.
I don't know if you guys have been talking or arguing. I almost put
Why
talkuing.
not both? Talking. It's a new
Talkuing.
word.
Yeah, just describe your Zelda Battle Royale. Because, like, it started, Daniel said no links, and I said all the links. So,
Everybody.
You know what? I think that would be
Everyone is
great
Link,
if you
I
did,
think
like, an all for
nobody.
one, and everyone was Link. That would be amazing.
No,
Especially because
like-
Link has so many different things that you can do with him.
I wasn't saying put all 100 people playing as
Oh.
Link. I meant like
Oh, okay.
have the
That's
different
what I thought you
characters. No, like have the different characters you can choose, like the Gorons,
Well, when you
the
say all
Zoras.
the Links, it sounds
No,
like
like
everyone
all of
is
the
gonna
different
be Link.
versions of Links. So like you can choose between all of the Links.
Oh.
So you can have
Oh,
you can
okay,
have
yeah.
Majora's Mask Link with the masks abilities.
Mhm.
You can have Fierce Deity Link, Skyward Sword Link. Maybe you get the Loftwing. Who knows? I
I think
Right.
that'd be cool because they have a lot of different items like throughout the different games, so that way you wouldn't really be matched up against the exact same Link.
Yeah, and then, yeah, like maybe even like throw in Hyrule Warriors Link.
Or if they just take the Hyrule Warriors approach, you know, you've got all these different characters that are different
That's what I was
races or
saying.
classes. Yeah. But then you just have a Link that is specific to this game. You know, the Battle Royale Link.
I still think we should have all of the Links.
All the Link. But it
All
makes.
of the Links.
How many different Links are there?
Jeez, there's a
So-
lot. Like between 16 to 18 to 20. That between 15 to 20. That's my rough estimate. Zelda 1 and 2 Link. A Link to
It's
the
just
Past.
because all of
Link's
their item
Awakening.
sets are so different. Like I feel like it's totally plausible. Like it's not like
Mhm.
it's basically just picking a different skin and a different item
CDI
loadout.
Link.
True.
No, like you could have CDI Link. You could have the animated
no.
series Link.
No.
You could have Captain N, the Game Master version of Link.
Oh my goodness.
Do you remember Captain N, the Game Master?
Yes. But I think that was supposed to tie into the Zelda cartoon. So it was the same Link. Because they had the same actor voice him. But then they made him tougher looking.
I thought his personality was different.
Was it?
Like in the animated series, he was like the whiny pervert, but in
Yep.
Captain N, the Game Master, he
sure
was only slightly perverted.
I think they just toned it down. But it was supposed to be... I might be wrong, honestly. But my understanding was it was a tie-in. So it was like the same characters. I don't know. Who knows? None of it makes sense. It's not canon. It's not canon.
Captain N, the Game Master, isn't canon?
No.
What about the you could have the Game & Watch Link. So you could have like a little 2D black version of Link that only has like certain poses.
So Kayla, tell us more about your ideas.
We haven't even gotten to the Mario idea. Oh, you mean about... You know what? Like I said, Hyrule Warriors style, all of the Links, all of the Zeldas.
Jesse's leaving.
He's gone.
No, come back.
Just straight up scared Jesse away.
I shamed him into leaving.
Well,
Oh no.
I have never seen Daniel leave this many Jesse
Wow.
leave this many times.
Oh no. What have I done?
Clearly,
He's
this
back.
co-host thing isn't
He's back. He's back.
Welcome back, Jesse.
I went to Taco Bell while I was gone.
You went to Taco Bell in that minute?
How was the taco?
Actually, I haven't ate it yet. Yeah,
Daniel, I don't know how much closer you can get to your webcam.
like
Much closer should I guess?
Guys.
can you see my skin peeling?
Ew.
Oh dear.
Shaved Jesse.
Oh my. That is quite enough.
Done guessing on this.
And there's Goku, and the different links, and the Gamecube, and the RAM for my desktop. Because my desktop is taken apart down there. You can see my
Mom,
SSD lying in the floor.
your
Okay.
broken computer.
My GPU broke, so
I'm glad at least Steve DiGario in the chat appreciated that
You
little
guys
moment
are
there.
the Rip Jesse. Well, could be
Thank you, Steve.
Alright, so Kayla. Sorry about all the interruptions. Daniel needs
No,
to
I
learn
feel
to
like I've
cool
said everything I
himself.
need to say about this.
Alright.
Chill myself out.
Can we have the link from Smash Brothers that does the yoga pose?
Yes.
That's Twilight
Is
Princess. Link,
this
isn't
your
it?
important question? Yes.
Is that Twilight
Just the-
Princess thing?
Isn't it?
Yeah,
It's-
it is.
Yeah, it is.
In the
is.
commercial?
Yeah, he's
Or
doing
the-
that pose,
Yeah.
and then he like can't hold it, which is kind of surprising. I think he would be able to, because he stands in that one-footed dashing pose
What?
And
for some reason.
he's a hero, like,
I don't know.
I
Okay.
don't know.
Nice.
I don't know. So-
Are we ready to move to Mario?
Yeah, let's
Yes, let's.
let's talk Mario and see what kind of discourse
some
we can start
meat.
here.
Yeah, so the Mario example that I seen was basically making fun of Fortnite, saying 100 Marios drop from the sky or drop from an airplane to an island, and then all the 100 Marios just run around jumping on each other's heads. But I thought, no, this could actually be cool. You don't have to make fun of anything. You can just
Yeah.
make a Battle Royale Mario where, like, instead of getting weapons, maybe there are tons of different power-ups all over the
Oh, yeah.
place.
Some shells.
So you get
and
you
flower.
get shells, the Tanuki suits, the boomerang hat guy, fire flowers, ice flowers,
There's
the
one star in the middle of the island.
go kart.
Mm.
Yeah, and then the thing about the star is, like, it's the only power up, or one of the only power ups that has, like, limited use because it only works for like 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like for 10 seconds you're invisible, but if no one's around during that 10 seconds, sucks for you.
Yep.
What are some ideas that you would like to see for this Mario Royale, Kayla? Miss Chiblima?
Miss
Chublima.
Chublima. See, I'm worried because when you talk about it, you say 100 Marios.
Well, that
Is
was
this our only option?
no, that was the joke that they made. Was 100
Okay.
Marios running around jumping on everyone's head, because that would be wacky and crazy. But obviously, like, there'd be Luigi, Waluigi, Wario, Peach, Toads.
Well, my question is that of course they would have all of the items that we see in in Mario games, right? Even Mario Kart. So how would the blue shell work?
Whoever
Is it just like go homing on like one random person?
maybe whoever's in first, like whoever has the most kills gets hit.
Maybe.
But like it wouldn't be an instant KO. It would just like stun them
Yeah.
for like 10
yeah.
seconds, because that
Yeah,
would make
that
it so
would
that
suck.
nobody wanted to be in first place.
Yeah, especially like that would be super OP.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like
So
it
we'd
just
definitely
it
see the
stuns
hammer.
them. So it gives someone a chance to kill the person in first place,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be dead. But then, like, if you have the horn or a star and you see the blue shell coming for you, then you're immune. So
Yeah, exactly.
who knows? But yeah, what are some more ideas, Kayla?
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I was thinking. Mario Battle Royale. It's hard to say because I feel like a lot of Battle Royale games are kind of very similar. So, are you guys okay over there?
Sorry, that's what you were doing when you were thinking. You were like,
I was just copying Kayla, and then I started copying Daniel. So
we were having a moment.
Yeah. Anyways, like I was saying, I feel like they're all very similar. Like you can incorporate like all of the characters. Dry Bones for the win. Maybe incorporate like a couple of their different abilities and stuff that we see in like something like Smash Bros. So for instance, like Peach could hit you with a golf club. That'd be pretty cool.
Frying pan was always my favorite, but
Yeah,
yeah.
Frying Pan, classic.
was there anything in Mario that would make you run faster aside from the stars? Like, wasn't there something you could get that would make you like sprint
In
in
Odyssey-
3D World?
There was the little flower thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That
Yeah,
makes
the
you
flower.
do me fast.
So
Oh,
how would
rocket
Cappy
flower.
work? Would Cappy be an attachment of Mario? Would you have like an alternate Mario that gets Cappy? Is Cappy his own standalone
So
person?
you're like a power up. I don't feel like Cap.
I would say
like
he would
Cappy's
be a
shtick is-
power up to where like you
Yeah.
can throw your hat and hit someone, but not take control of them.
No, I
Like
feel
you could just hit them with Cappy,
Mhm.
but it would act the same as like the boomerang. Like when you
Mhm.
get the boomerang hat and you can throw the boomerang and it'll come back. Like maybe Cappy is just like a reskinned version of that.
Yeah. I feel like if we're like looking at a variety of characters, like you're including Dry Bones, maybe Koopa Troopa, like you gotta leave Goombas out, because they would lose. They would be the most useless characters to add in.
Yeah,
Oh, you could have
like,
all of like Bowser Jr. and all of the
The Koopalings.
the Koopalings.
unless you want to be like a Goomba
Goomba.
squad,
Oh.
but
Would Donkey
Squad of
Kong be
Goombas.
in the game? Is the question, because Donkey Kong is canon to Mario, but
yes,
would take,
Donkey
like,
Kong
the-
would be in the game.
Yeah.
and
yeah.
then that would mean all of
Or-
the Kongs would be in there, and then you could have like in Battle Royale you have the 50 versus 50 mode, so or in Fortnite, sorry. So in this Mario Battle Royale, maybe you have Mario versus Kong. So like Bowser, Mario, Luigi, Peach, all of these Mario characters versus K. Rool, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, all of the Donkey Kong characters.
Although in that way, remember I mentioned actually before we started streaming. Aw, thank you, Gibbs. Anyways, before we started actually streaming, I was talking about how my boyfriend sent me a message and he was saying that like doing like just a Donkey Kong battle royale where you're all just literally going apeshit. Sorry for
Fun level off the charts.
So yeah, like I think like that's not my idea, of course, for my
Right.
battle royale game, but
Yeah.
strong option.
So what about
Or
instead
you
of like
could
the Mario vs Kong? So you got like the good guys versus bad guys, basically. So like Mario,
Yeah.
Luigi, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Princess Peach, the Toad Squad, and then you've got like Bowser, the Koopalings, Bowser
But-
Jr.
Donkey
Maybe
Kong was the
K. Rool.
original bad guy.
Yeah, but that was Cranky Kong canonically.
Was it?
Right. Yeah. And Donkey Kong, as we know now, is like Donkey Kong Jr., so he's a good guy. Cranky Kong's too old to
So
do
Cranky
anything
Kong
anymore.
is just crazy all the
He's
time.
just nuts.
And
He's
then-
just the way he talks to his own kid.
So here's another thing. You have Mario plus Rabbids, where Mario and all the characters get guns. But
Right.
Donkey Kong 64 gave all of the Kongs guns.
But Donkey Kong in Mario plus Rabbids has a boomerang banana.
So
Even
I
though
think
he
that's where
already
things get a
has-
little bit messed up because if you're playing a game and like all of them don't have guns, for instance, if there's a Mario Battle Royale, then you wouldn't want to mix monkeys with guns into the mix because then that would just be unfair and overpowered.
Right, so either you take away their guns, or you give everyone guns. Now I'm starting to sound like a politician. So,
Well, I mean, either way,
Whoops.
monkeys will always have a ranged attack because banana peels and feces.
Oh yeah, there would be
true.
all the banana peels that could like make
I
you slip
hope-
and lose a chunk of your health. So yeah. All right. Any final thoughts on this before we move to our own unique ones?
All I've got in my mind is Donkey Kong.
All right,
It's
So,
all
you know
like
what?
Donkey Kong.
Daniel, who is going to be what franchise is going to be your Nintendo Battle Royale?
It's gonna sound super unorthodox. Pikmin.
Well, see, when you mentioned that, I thought, like, I don't know if you can get. I don't know what the limit to Pikmin that you can have are, but theoretically, you could
100.
get 100 Pikmin anyways.
Yeah.
It's just like they're all on your team.
Yeah.
So if you could have a limit of like 50, say, make the limit 50 Pikmin, and then
Sure.
there are 100 different people playing.
That's too many Pikmin. I don't want to play. I'm done.
That's so many Pikmin.
Or like, is the limit actually 100 in the games,
It is.
or does it change game to
It's-
game?
I'm pretty sure it's 100 across the board.
So if there are 100 Pikmin
Mhm.
and one main character, and then
Yeah.
100 teams,
Mhm.
10,000 Pikmin.
Oof, this is now that we're thinking about it. This
Can
is
the
a
Nintendo
nasty
Switch-
choice.
This is
Okay,
a terrible idea,
No,
Daniel.
no, no, no.
Look at what
The
you've
big
done.
thing about the GameCube tech demo, Mario 128, when they showed it off, which, by the way, there are interviews we talk about in our most popular video where Miyamoto says that Mario 128 was being worked on as an actual game, not just the tech demo. So that's another canceled Mario game because we talked about the one earlier. But anyways, Mario 128, the tech demo, everybody, like, the big deal about it was there were 128 different Marios running around. I think there was 128. Anyways, like the GameCube rendering 128 Marios running around. Now think about it rendering, like, could the Switch render 10,000 Pikmin all individually running around?
Who is it for us to decide?
Does it have the processing power? Does it have
Maybe this is a game that will be potentially viable after the new Nintendo Switch is announced.
Oh yeah.
The new
So-
Nintendo Switch
Sorry,
XL.
guys, this
Daniel,
is just a rumor.
Tell us about your Pikmin game.
Okay.
What
so,
characters
so I
do
guess
you want?
we'll want to limit it maybe to, like, you have 10 Pikmin, not 100.
But there are
Just
there
to
are
be
enemies
reasonable.
in the Pikmin series that take more than 10 Pikmin to kill.
But my question
Yes.
is if you're playing a Pikmin-style battle royale, who are the characters you're playing?
So-
Are you guys all playing Olimar?
Well, no, in Pikmin 3, we see there's 3 new characters that are, like, your player characters,
yeah.
right? Plus there's Louis. So they could all just be, like, that's race, you know, just whatever,
Weird
bland
Bald
characters.
children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird, bald, yeah, it's tiny astronauts that are this big. And you get your Pikmin. And I just think, first of all, I think that the levels would be really cool because everyone's tiny.
Yeah.
So you'd have, like,
Yeah.
big. You could do a lot with that. I think it would be really cool. But then, thinking about a game of that scope, the objective-wise would probably be like a battle for resources, just because of the way Pikmin games play. Maybe even stealing each other's resources, and then just, like, whoever has the most of stuff when time is up wins the match, something along those lines. But I could see it being, it'd be very unorthodox for a battle royale game, but it could, if done right, could be really fun. So
I was gonna say, I don't know how comfortable I am with throwing Pikmin at people until they die. What
Yeah,
are the Pikmin
well,
doing to
that's-
these people,
What
and
if-
why are they dying?
What if it was like
So I'm saying not maybe a battle to the death, but, you know, like, he's stealing resources, gathering things, that kind of stuff.
what if there are, like, say 10 to 20 main enemies roaming around?
Hmm.
So
Right.
then you have, like, the 100 teams or 50 teams or whatever, but then there are these, like, giant bad monsters, and you have to collect the resources and the different Pikmin to stop them. And whoever
Yes.
at the end of the game is able to do the most damage to or take down the most ends up
Yeah.
winning. So it's like you can work together with someone to take down
Sure.
an enemy, but if you only, like, get 30 of their health down and someone else gets 70 of their health down, like 70%, then they get, like, you know, that 70, like, means that they
Points
beat
or-
you. Yeah.
yeah.
Like, they, even though you both work together, they still beat you because they did more damage. So then maybe you take more time to get more, collect resources and get more Pikmin. That way you can be more of an asset for your team or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you can go straight to the bad guys and try doing damage, but then it's like if you run out of resources, then you have to go back, and then someone else who
You run
already
out
went
of
and
Pikmin.
collected resources can, like, swoop in and take your kill.
You need to take the corpses of your enemies for the Pikmin to feed,
Sure.
which produces more Pikmin.
So that this is your
Pikmin are morbid, I just realized.
Straight up disturbed right now. I don't.
all right, Kayla. What do you think about Daniel's Pikmin Royale?
She hates it. I can tell already.
I think it's morbid. There's something seriously wrong going on here. But honestly, I can't say that my idea is any better.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Are you done with
Can't
yours?
wait.
We can move on?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do
Kayla.
it.
So, everyone will know that this is totally something that I would say. Animal Crossing.
I knew it!
Animal
I knew you were
See,
going to say Animal Crossing.
I honestly expected Daniel to say like a Metroid Royale or something.
Oh.
Oh, that would have been cool.
That makes so much more sense.
Honorable
than
mention.
what I said.
It's like, that makes so much more sense.
You could do.
Daniel's
you could do
mind
like the
was blown
Federation
wide.
Troopers and stuff.
I intentionally kept Animal Crossing a secret from Daniel. He
your-
guessed it, but I didn't confirm it.
Your friendo in the chat says, of course she said Animal Crossing.
I know. He
Brutal.
knows that I like Animal Crossing. I actually really luck out. Prudom is watching right now, and so is my boyfriend. So thank you
Oh.
guys.
Luke in the chat says not Splatoon. That was the first one we said. We're on number 5 now.
Yeah, sorry, Luke. We're
So-
we're moving
Rewind.
on.
Yeah.
Go rewind.
Splatoon was the most reasonable.
Yeah, it totally made the most sense.
Yeah.
So
The
tell
rest
us
of
about
these are
this
just like if you
Animal
presented all of these to Nintendo, Miyamoto would just be like, "How
What's
did
wrong
you
with-
graduate?" So,
How did you? So, Animal Crossing, where all the characters battle it out to the death.
It's-
Tell us more, King.
it's
I know. I'm like, here I am.
it's farming.
Daniel, how dare you with your Pikmin killing people? Yeah.
It's a
so when mine
farming
would be
royale
animals fighting.
simulator.
And I feel like because in Animal Crossing, there's like the cute type, there's the jock type, so they would have different abilities depending on
You
the
would
animal.
have to like. Are you
Right.
all battling each other in this, or are
Yes.
you trying to get the prettiest house decorations?
I think that you're gonna be battling.
We all know that the villagers are already death machines, as
Like-
seen in Smash. the villager
Yes.
is a terrible force to be reckoned with.
He is. Villager's like that OP person that you probably shouldn't pick, but you do.
Like that little kid, and you're always like, oh, he's a short guy. Like, you know, it's like that short guy in the wrestling team in school, and you're like, well, he's whatever. Nah, he's not threatening, but then he's this really scrappy guy who will tear you to pieces. It's always the little ones. That's Villager in Smash.
Losing Limo, if I pronounce that right in chat. Animal Crossing Taxidermy Royale. Thanks.
Oh,
Disgusting.
So it's the corpses that you're keeping trophies of
It's
your
not
enemies.
my idea.
Oh my goodness.
It's just-
Hooey. Is
I'm
taxidermy an industry that occurs in the Animal Crossing universe? That's my question.
No, I really no.
How to
I-
immortalize your friends.
I'm pretty sure that most of the apes in Animal Crossing could definitely tear off villagers' arms, though. Just throwing that out there.
Mm-mm. Yeah, but they wouldn't. They think that he's, friendly. They
I feel
don't
like
see
the
it coming
items
when-
in the game would be really weird, though. Like, it would be like pitfall seeds, maybe like throw fruit at each other.
Axe.
Yeah, axe.
So,
Axe,
you have
yep.
to cut down trees.
Yeah, you
And to cut down your enemies.
shovel so you can bury your enemies.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're still screaming. Someone help me.
Is decorating a part of this game? At all?
I don't know. I mean, like, it could be. It could be.
What about the inescapable debt?
What about
That's
fishing?
the plot point of Animal Crossing.
The fishing, guys.
Mm.
You don't need to fish. You're just gonna use the fishing rod to, like, hook people in the eye
Now,
and probably kill them that
Is
way.
this going to be a tie-in with Labo?
Please explain
You
how.
can make a cardboard axe and put your Joy-Con in it so you can swing.
It makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
None of this
I'm
makes
gonna
sense.
start crying, Jesse. This is such a good idea.
And you can get your red
We'll make
markers and
millions.
make fake blood on the blade.
Wow, this is terrible and morbid.
More so than the Pikmin eating everything.
I
Are
said
Pikmin
gathering
zombies?
resources.
Are Pikmin zombies, Daniel?
No, they're little demon creatures slash plant creatures. So I love Pikmin, but they are actually
No,
a scary
Pikmin
thought.
Pikmin is good.
Pikmin is good, but if you think about it, like, you know, they kill something and then they drag it back to their nest and feast on it, and it's just kind of like,
Well, why wouldn't they?
okay, this is
We
scary.
We have picked the two most adorable Nintendo games and turned
Yeah.
them into battle royale style. What is wrong with us?
Why did we choose this topic?
We couldn't have picked a normal Nintendo game. No, we had to pick Animal Crossing and Pikmin.
Oh, I'm dying. Whew. Someone said Harvest Moon Battle Royale.
Is Harvest
I feel-
Moon Nintendo?
I know it's
no.
on. At least it has been on Nintendo systems.
Yeah.
Cameron also mentioned a Kirby battle royale.
We're just
Wait,
swallowing
there's a
everyone.
game. Isn't there a game literally called Kirby Battle Royale?
Let me see.
Isn't that actually just a Kirby game?
Harvest Moon is.
Wait, it is
Marvel's-
actually just a Kirby game.
Yeah, that's actually just a real Kirby game. That's Kirby Battle Royale. That's a real game. That's-
Well,
and we didn't think of it.
Nintendo's done it already.
Yeah,
Oh
3DS. So I guess that brings us to the end of our top 5.
Whew, okay.
So everyone,
It just affect.
in the comments below on the video, please let us know what you thought of this and what crazy, bizarre, wacky, insane, blood-fueled battle royale Nintendo game would you make? And we're ready for the questions. Are you guys ready for the questions?
Yep.
All right,
Let's
I
do
say
this.
we each take 2 questions. We can each pick 1 question from the mailbag, and then we will each take 1 question from the chat. Since we will start with Kayla, Daniel, and then myself.
Ooh, I have to pick a question first.
Yes. So
Okay.
check out your questions. Everyone in the chat, get your questions ready. I will do the intro, and then we will begin. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Sure.
What's up, everybody? I am Jesse, or Game Over Jesse, as all of you may know me. Here with us, as always, for the Zelda mailbag is Daniel.
Oh, it's me. Hi, everybody.
And our brand new co-host, Kayla.
It's brand new. She's been here before, though.
Newish co-host.
I'm making this face like, hello, this is my 3rd time being here, but hello.
Alright, well this is the Zelda mailbag where you can send in your Zelda or Nintendo related questions. They don't necessarily have to be Zelda related. Sometimes variety is good. But we get so many questions sent to us on Twitter, on the Facebooks, on the Discords, on the YouTube comments that sometimes we have too many questions. Like this time we have like a dozen questions, but we can only get to 6. So Daniel,
Yes.
what happens when someone wants to guarantee they're so desperate for their question to get answered?
Well, they're hooped. No, go to patreon.com. Game Over Jesse. Find
Yes.
him.
Yes.
Follow him.
Head over to
Or
Patreon.
subscribe to him.
.com/GameOverJesse,
Patreon works.
where you can guarantee your question gets answered. Like the one who asks. So we'll do the Patreon questions, and then we'll each pick one.
Sounds
Oh, you don't
good.
even have them separately. You just have it highlighted.
Well, no, like, I know who they are. So.
Oh, okay.
But the one asked from Discord, who is a Patreon subscriber, says, King Bergerson, Game Over Jesse, Chublima, if you had the complete Triforce in your possession, what would you wish for?
Now wait, am I in Hyrule
No, so here's the thing.
or in real
This
life
is in
and I
real
get
life.
to wish?
Here's my
IRL.
question I'm asking. I didn't think the Triforce granted you a wish. It granted you whatever your heart most desired.
Right. But I think in
Like
the
Wind
Wind
Waker,
Waker,
but
it shows him like
maybe
wishing.
their heart maybe his heart mostly wanted, like maybe that they mostly wanted to get rid of the evil. Like so, like their wish would have been the same as what their heart desired.
Time for a fact check.
Yeah. So
I don't even know what my heart desires. This Triforce would just like pop something random out and be like, oh,
yeah, it's like
that's what my heart desires.
I guess I did want a new jacket. Like, you know me so well, Mr. Triforce.
Okay. So there might be a catch to this. If the Triforce is in our possession, it will grant our wish if our heart is in balance. If our heart is imbalanced, then we will simply obtain the power of whichever of the three pieces we value the most, subconsciously, of course. Which the Triforce also changes appearance. But I'm just kind of skimming Zelda Wiki here, but that's what it says. So first, we have to make sure that we are balanced-hearted, good people. Otherwise, we're hoops.
Based on the last conversation, I would say no.
It's like
we know for a fact we are not.
It's like Dragon Ball Z for the people that get the reference. You have to be pure-hearted to ride on Nimbus, the cloud.
Mm-hmm. So Jesse is the only one of us that will get his wish granted. Kayla and I are screwed.
I don't think I could qualify as being pure-hearted, but maybe like I would only get like half a wish granted. I don't know. Anyways, Kayla, what's your wish? Your real world wish.
It might not come true, but you can still make the wish.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm an evil person, so my wish is probably gonna be something like. This is hard.
Alright, I would wish for myself and everyone to be happy.
That is such a nice wish.
Yeah.
So yours will come true because of the pure cinnamon that is your heart.
The cinnamon.
The purest heart. I'm gonna sound like such a jerk now.
That's funny. Kayla said, "Oh, Gibbs, you're gonna be at E3," and then Ashley's like, "Go away, Gibbs." Two polar opposites. All right, Daniel, what's your wish?
Well, I would like basically an unlimited resource of
Milkshake
money, which is going to sound super lame, but like imagine you had exactly what you always needed in your bank account. Anytime you went to buy anything, you always have exactly what you need in it. And so
what you want.
Okay.
Because then
exactly what you are going to use.
Yeah. Your bank could be like, you don't need this.
You don't need that milkshake.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes, I do. But then
it's like, don't judge me, Mr. Bank.
I get the house I want for my family. I can have
all the amiibo,
all the food, all
the amiibo.
We'll buy everything. I can, the possibilities with unlimited money, all the terrible whims of the modern capitalist world would be inconsequential to me, and I would probably donate a lot to charity because it wouldn't actually affect my own financial situation. So there's that. Give people money all the time. You have automatic transfers out of my bank account. I'd break the economy.
Yeah, that's fine. You can
Capitalism
wish to break the economy.
will fall before me. No, really. I want money.
Alright. Kayla, what is your wish?
You know what? I'm gonna go based on what my heart desires, and my heart desires like over 10,000 pounds of fruit.
What kind?
All of them. Probably blueberries. I would like a fair amount of those pounds of fruit to be blueberries. Yeah. But I'm telling you right now,
I want cantaloupe.
Literally the lamest fruit of them all, but
blueberries are delicious.
Get out of here.
But yeah, like there are so many things.
For unlimited money, and you're wishing for unlimited blueberries.
If I could knowingly wish for something, yeah, it would be for money. But if it's the Triforce granting something that my heart desires, it's gonna be fruit.
Yeah.
I know that.
Money to buy the fruit. Alright. What is... Gus asks, replying to Game Over Jesse Kepbergerson and Jablima, but then he tags Captain Bergerson again. So maybe this is just for you.
Maybe.
Do you want to answer it? Or...
Oh, this is totally
sure.
just for...
The Gus.
No,
totally I think
there's
two questions. One's for me, is what it looks like, and then the other question is for the rest of us. That's what I'm guessing. I might be wrong.
Oh,
Gus is in the
yeah,
chat,
those are 2 questions. Yeah, you're right. Yep, you're right.
That's what it was. So, Gus asks me, I guess, what amiibo would be the next one to add to your collection? This makes sense that he asked me this. He's on Instagram. He's very active, commenting on all my terribly nerdy amiibo pictures.
You have a fan.
Yes, so we've been chatting about amiibo collecting on there. So that's good. Was this the next one I will be adding, or the next one I want to? What would be the next one? Okay, what would? So I recently... Okay, so Sheik is the one I'm really trying to find right now, as Jesse knows. Jesse started soliciting Twitter to find Sheik for me. What a good friend. Because I've got all the other Zelda Smash characters. I've got all the other Zelda series of amiibo, most of them still in box. I'm very proud of this. I found online like an amiibo checklist. So I've got about just over a third of all the Smash lineup, all of the Zelda ones, over half the Mario ones, and a bunch of the rare miscellaneous ones as well. So it's been going pretty good so far. So anyway, Sheik is the one I'm still looking for, because Sheik is really hard to find. So I finally got Smash Zelda and Toon Link, and then I got the Zelda Edition Wind Waker, Link and Zelda, but I can't find Sheik anywhere. And there's like a game shop close to my house that I keep a pretty close eye on, because sometimes they get amiibos in there. And I was able to find the Gold and Silver Mario Edition amiibos there, and I got them for like $20 each, which is like a steal. So at one point they posted a picture. Whenever they get in like a lot of new products, they'll post a picture of it on their Facebook page, and they posted a thing of like tons of amiibo. And I was at work, so my wife went down to Game Deals for me, picked up Captain Falcon, Smash Zelda, Smash Toon Link. But the Sheik, who was in that photo, was already gone. And it was like an hour. It was like in the span of 1 hour. So I don't know. It was sad, but I still got some that I've been hunting for a while. So that's enough of my amiibo ramble.
All right.
That only
was the real
interests me and
question?
Gus. The rest of the question, to all, do you think it would be cool to have a game similar to Hyrule Warriors, but set more as an adventure type game?
Yes.
Yes, it would be very cool.
Like, not necessarily Hyrule Warriors, but my perfect dream game was, I made a couple of videos talking about this, one in more detail than the other, but essentially is Super Smash Brothers Adventure, which would be like Kingdom Hearts, but with Smash Brothers characters.
Okay.
So like,
when you said Super Smash Bros. Adventure, I think it was Melee, the one on GameCube, where it actually had kind of like an adventure mode, like you'd go through like different little
So like, imagine, I guess, either you could pick whoever your main character would be from the Nintendo cast lineup, or maybe they would create a brand new character specifically for the game, like Kingdom Hearts made Sora. So, in Kingdom Hearts, you go to like all of the different worlds. Like there is the Lion King world, the Little Mermaid world, Aladdin world, like all these different worlds. So instead of doing that, you would go to Hyrule Kingdom, Mushroom Kingdom, Space for like Star Fox or Metroid. Maybe go to the Kong jungle. Like those would be your different worlds. And then you could team up with like Link and Donkey Kong, or Luigi and Samus, or Star Fox and Samus, or So that would be my perfect game. But Hyrule Warriors Adventure game I would see it being just like that, but then instead of Super Smash Brothers worlds, just different Zelda worlds. Like in Hyrule Warriors, there's like the portals that open up for the different timelines and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like go through the portals to the different timelines. And instead of having like the battle arena levels, like maybe there's dungeons and stuff, which they wanted to put dungeons in Hyrule Warriors, but Aonuma was like, no, you can't do that. because
That's my thing.
we make the dungeons.
Except we're not gonna put any in the next
Yeah.
Zelda game.
No, he said he wanted them to do what he wasn't able to do.
Mm-hmm.
So he said no puzzles, no dungeons, because I can make a game, or I can make a Zelda game with dungeons and puzzles. So make something that I can't.
In fact, I think his first job working on Nintendo before he took over the series, he was, I think, a dungeon designer originally.
For Ocarina.
Then he kind of moved up to be the kind of the producer for the whole series. But
Yeah.
that's the man who made the Water Temple. So, I actually like the Water Temple, so don't judge me. But
yeah,
anyway,
I honestly think it's not that bad. So
yeah, I
Yeah.
just said that
I think
for
it's
the
just
shock
a
factor.
popular meme. Like Jabu
Yeah.
Jabu's belly gave me the most trouble, and that's barely like it's water themed,
Mhm.
but there's not many water dungeons or water puzzles. Like the Deku
Yeah.
Tree has more water puzzles than Jabu Jabu's belly, I believe, because there's the one where like you have to swim under the log in the Deku Tree, or like the spike roller thing.
Oh yeah, that's
oh
true.
yeah,
So like there are water puzzles in the Deku Tree, but that doesn't mean it's a water dungeon. So like Jabu Jabu is technically a water dungeon, but it's just water themed mostly. It's not
Mhm.
like, yeah, you're not raising. Anyway, hey Daniel, what's up?
What?
Hi Kayla, what's up?
What?
Heyo.
All right, so question, answer, guys.
Mhm.
I keep
Yeah, I'd
getting
love
off
to see
topic.
that,
I'm
like,
sorry.
A cool like game with a party system similar. I can see it working similar to Kingdom Hearts, but where that's what I like in Hyrule Warriors is even if you're not necessarily playing as Link, like or whatever, there's like the levels will have all the characters there and they're doing their own. They're not really doing much to be honest, but they're there. So that would be really cool. But yeah, more. The levels in Hyrule Warriors are very like limited, very isolated levels, and so yeah, it would be cool to have more of an adventure format. Yes.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And like Jesse was saying, like if it did it like Smash Bros style, that would be awesome because then you don't really have to pick between like a different game to really go off of because Smash Bros kind of tries to cover all of those bases.
Yeah.
It's good for variety. Yeah.
Gus in
Yeah.
the chat says he is satisfied with his answer.
Yes.
Are there any other Patreon supporters? There's Gus, the one, Ilya. Oh no, Ilya's on the team, but she's not.
Just not patron.
Yeah, she's just a voiceover. Okay, yeah, that's all the Patreon people. So, Kayla, pick your question now.
Mine is going to be from Ilya Rose.
Oh,
Yeah, I know you guys
That's
are
good.
just
I
looking
like
at
that.
it,
I
but I
that
like this question. If you had to choose between only Mario games or only Legend of Zelda games for the rest of your life, which would you choose? And this includes the lore and anything having to do with the franchise. And why would you choose it?
do you see all the Mario statues? No,
Exactly.
You don't.
So I feel like this is going to be a very, like, all of us are probably going to agree, Legend of Zelda. 100%. Like, Mario was great, but Legend of Zelda has so much going on for lore, so much going on in the background. There's so much information to get while you're playing a Zelda game. Thank you for showing me that. Where is the rest of his body? Is he okay? You broke him in half to bring him up
dear.
here? That's just straight up morbid.
That's why he has the halo. Jesse just killed him
How does
just now. You done goof, Jesse.
Oh, it's
Oh
backwards.
no,
Okay.
it's backwards. Don't put his legs on backwards. Oh dear.
Nice. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow, so angry.
Some nice looking eyes. They're big. He's got big eyes. But yeah.
Yes.
Legend of
agree
Zelda.
with everything
100%.
Kate just said.
I-
see Zelda's. I like Mario too. Mario's my
Yeah.
number 2, but Zelda's my number 1. So
Yeah, but it's like Legend of Zelda, like, I have played Ocarina of Time. I try to beat that game at least once a year every year, and I've been doing that for a long time now.
Oh, nice.
So the replay value for all Zelda games is just really, really high
you
compared
never
to
get bored?
games. Yeah.
no. No.
Goku died. Alright,
So, yes. But I do love Mario. You can obviously
I
I've
know.
got a nice little section
I love
Mario
Mario.
too,
There are
but-
great Mario games out there, but I feel like as far as like I wouldn't want to only play Mario because that's like
That's
me.
true.
I'd probably rotate through my same favorites like Sunshine, Mario Galaxy, and then probably Mario Odyssey. And
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if a Zelda game comes out, I will not miss it.
exactly.
I will
yeah.
get it, and I will, like, guaranteed. I have not played every Mario game though,
Yeah.
so
You mean you didn't play the build your own sweater Mario game?
no. Okay, I haven't played every mainline Mario game, is what I should say. If we're counting all the spin-offs, good lord, I don't think anybody has.
Lost
There
in
are
There's
way
probably
too
like
many.
500 games that have Mario's name attached to it. But the like a painful example, which I know everybody always hates it when I admit it. I never played Galaxy.
What about Galaxy 2?
No, either of them.
I've only
Mostly a
played
lot of the other
Galaxy
mainline ones I
on
have,
Dolphin.
Who emulated it?
Yeah.
Emulated it?
With the
emulated
Xbox
what now?
360 controller Galaxy. Mario Galaxy.
That's illegal.
Nintendo ninjas are gonna shut you down, Jesse.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Yeah, okay, so what Mario game, so adding on to Ilya's question with Mario and Zelda, what Mario game is definitively better than a Zelda? Also, really quick, Daniel, Galaxy 2, did you ever play it?
No, but I know that there's
Technically,
Yoshi.
Galaxy 2,
Sorry.
now this is not my opinion.
Yeah.
Super Mario Galaxy 2 is the #1 game to have ever existed.
Wow.
It is the highest rated game ever.
Wow.
Previously, it was Ocarina of Time, but in like 2010, 2011, Galaxy 2 beat Ocarina of Time by like 0.1 or like
That's a real
0.01.
fact.
Yes.
Like overall ratings.
Yeah, like
for the
overall,
people,
like 9 out of
highest
10,
reviews.
10 out of 10. It goes, because I was working at Zelda Dungeon at the time, and I had written the article because there was other articles that was like IGN and other websites was reporting on it, but Zelda Dungeon reported on it because for the longest time it was Ocarina of Time was the #1 rated game of all time, and then Mario Galaxy 2 beat it. So, like, combining all of the different review sites and all of the different fan scores, Mario Galaxy 2 is the #1 rated game of all time. So, fun fact.
It was a really good game. I could see why.
Yeah. So, my question, tying into that, the reason I explained that is, what Mario game is definitively better than its Zelda counterpart, I guess, if that makes sense. So
Right,
like,
so like Super Mario World would be like a Link to the Past
yeah.
counterpart. Mario 64, Ocarina of Time,
yeah, or
etc.
Majora's Mask.
Okay. Or okay.
No, I guess Paper Mario would be Majora's Mask.
Sure.
And then
This is a hard question.
Yeah,
This is a hard question.
Sunshine.
First of all, I have to
Wind
like
Waker.
willfully admit that there's an inferior Zelda game.
Okay, so
That's
Sunshine, Wind Waker,
Mhm.
maybe Galaxy Twilight Princess, Galaxy 2,
Galaxy Twilight Princess, Galaxy
Skyward
2,
Sword.
Skyward Sword,
Odyssey,
and then Odyssey Breath
Breath
of
of
the
the
Wild.
Wild.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Do 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 do.
If we're going strictly off what you said, the objective answer would be Galaxy 2 to Skyward Sword, like
Okay.
that pairing. But I can't say that for sure because I haven't played Galaxy 2, and I really like Skyward Sword.
In the chat, it says, what would the CDI Zelda games compare to?
Hotel Mario.
Yeah, Hotel Mario.
Hotel Mario.
Super Mario Wacky World, which was...
Yeah.
And then there was
CDI Zelda. Or
Mario
games,
Takes
yeah.
America, which was deleted. Or deleted.
Deleted from history.
So yeah, there was the 3 CDI Mario games. And then there was like 3 or 4 CDI or 3 CDI
Three
Zelda
CDI
games,
Zelda.
3 or 4 CDI Mario games. There's Wacky World, which was Super Mario World, essentially, but it was actually a good Mario game. Like it was
quite a bit.
literally Super Mario World with different stages. Hotel Mario was
Weird.
something, and then Mario Takes America was
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego Mario Edition?
yeah, it was Mario basically going to all of the different famous stops in America, like Mount Rushmore, all these places. And then, yeah. Anyways, I can't really think of one. I would say Super Mario 3. Super Mario
So
Bros.
Zelda
3
2?
is better than Zelda 2.
Okay. I will concede that. Yes.
I think
But
that's
that's
fair.
hard.
Anything after Ocarina of Time, I have a really hard time saying, like, oh, like, this Mario game was better than this Zelda game. Like, I loved the heck out of Skyward Sword. I also loved Mario Galaxy 2.
Oh, I will say Luigi's no, I don't think that would count. Luigi's Mansion would be better than Four Swords Adventures.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Wind
100%.
Waker, and I was going to fight you. But okay.
No.
Sure.
100%. I am totally okay with that.
Alright.
Ready to fight you.
Well, what's our next question, Daniel?
Yeah,
Okay.
Daniel.
Daniel.
This question.
Daniel.
The one I was going to pick was the Ilya Rose one, but then we picked that. So. Let's see here.
I hope everyone loves my weird laughs that I do occasionally. I'm sorry.
Are you
but I'm
looking
not.
at the questions?
Currently. Whoa, they're all gone now. You just deleted them. Jesse.
Who did? Jesse! Are you trolling us
would
right
you?
now? What is wrong with
How
you?
Could you?
Alright.
Put them back. Okay, you put them back.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, I like this one. It's from Losing Lemo.
I was gonna go with that. He is the number one Twitch person. Every time I do a Twitch stream of like Fortnite or something, he's like always watching. Or her.
Woo!
Aw,
I don't know.
Look
what a
at-
good dedicated fan.
Yeah. So thank you.
So, yes. So
I don't know you, but we love you.
I'm sorry, I don't know Losing Lemo's pronoun. They ask, what are your opinions on Nintendo ever incorporating an achievement reward system or trophy system for their consoles, much like Xbox or PlayStation? I'm a sucker for achievements, so whenever games are released across the consoles, for example Skyrim, I would purchase it on Xbox rather than Switch in order to play through and unlock the achievements as I progress and increase my gamer score. However, if Nintendo offered this achievement system, I would always choose its console first to purchase the games for it, as it is my favorite video game brand. So, thoughts on that?
Smash Brothers always has its trophy system.
That's true.
Switch, Minecraft, for Switch, Microsoft is adding in its own achievement system, like the Xbox achievements are coming to the Minecraft Switch. And then Nintendo said with like the Wii U, because this was something they wanted for the Wii U as well, they said achievements or trophies would come to the Wii U on a game-by-game basis. So if the developer of the game wanted to put in their own trophy system, they would be there, but there would not be an overarching thing. With
so
that,
no one put them.
yeah, because that's just extra work for them to do.
Yeah.
But we have to think about what an achievement system would mean. An achievement system would mean getting all of the shrines, getting all of the Korok seeds, getting all of the power moons in order to get the achievements.
Yeah.
Which I think is crazy. I would drive myself crazy trying to get those achievements,
No,
because
so-
if there's an achievement and I can get it, I will get it. However, if there's no achievement, I will not go to my personal free time to do that.
So here's the thing. Who was it? PlayStation 3 has achievements. Like that was the console that started the PlayStation achievements.
The trophies,
Yeah,
right?
the trophies. But
Yeah.
when the PlayStation 3 first started, it did not have it. It came like a year or two or something like that later. And then they slowly added in the achievements for the games that launched before. So even though the Switch did not launch with an achievement system, if Nintendo decides to do it, they still can. Because now when you think of PlayStation, you automatically think of the trophies. But again, PlayStation didn't get trophies until long after the console released. So it isn't possible for the Switch to get its own trophy stuff. But anyways, I would love this. It would definitely give me a huge reason to go back and play like older games too. Like if Super Mario World released and it had like an achievement list, or I always used to think about, or I always used to think about games like Ocarina of Time. If it had an achievement or trophy system, what would it be? Obviously, like collect all 4 bottles, collect all 100 gold skeletons, beat the Running Man. And like,
right.
That would be. I think they would have one that's like try to beat the Running Man.
Oh, and probably like get all of the heart pieces.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
The Big Goron Sword side quest. Get Epona.
Oh, getting Epona's easy.
But I feel like that's the thing, is that with the achievements, especially Xbox ones, they like just kind of pop in, even when like a lot of games have it, like even just for playing the game.
Oh yeah, God of War.
So it would, so it's like beat that dungeon.
God of War 3 had a trophy for like as soon as you start the game and the first cutscene ends, you get a trophy for like your adventure beginning or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like sometimes you like beat a level. Like I was just playing a weird indie game with Cameron the other day, and it's like we beat a level, and it's like, oh, you got an achievement for your first date. So like okay.
Ocarina of Time would give you an example would be if Ocarina of Time gave you an achievement for waking up.
Oh, I was gonna say for pulling the Master Sword the first time.
Oh no,
but
like
sure.
Waking up. Congratulations, you woke up.
Yeah, it would be like
that's an achievement. I struggle with that achievement every day.
It'd be
Getting
like
out of bed.
The Legend Begins or something would be the name of it. But yeah, I would love this if Nintendo did that. It would honestly I would go back and play through Master Mode just to get these achievements, and then it would give me even more motivation to do the side quests. Like if each side quest had its own achievement, like because some of those
there were so many side quests to do in Breath of the Wild too.
And that's the thing. A lot of people, whenever they played Breath of the Wild, they're like, oh, there's no story, or like whatever.
Have you tried talking to anyone?
Yeah, and it's like, no, the story's there. You had like the people that said there were no stories probably didn't talk to any of the NPCs or like got all the memories. They probably just like did the Divine Beasts and then beat Ganon. Because if you get all the memories, if you get all the cutscenes, if you do all the side quests, there is a ton of story in that game. Probably more so than any other Zelda game. It's just the story isn't shoved in your face.
Skyward Sword aside. Yeah. I think Skyward Sword is the most story.
It doesn't shove the story in your face like a lot of games, which is So anyways, what are you guys' final thoughts on that before we go to the next question?
The thing is, like with the side quests in Breath of the Wild, you already have that achievement sort of feel. Instead of just that thing that pops up that says achievement, it's not tracked with the Switch itself, but you do get the thing. It's the side quest complete, and it has the whole ding thing. It does my great sound effects, and like you already kind of keep track of how many side quests you complete and stuff like that. So like it just being in the game already, for me, already works. Like I don't have PS4, but like on Xbox, the achievements when they pop up, I don't feel really like woohoo! I got an achievement. I don't know. The gamer scores seem really arbitrary to me, so I don't feel like I miss having that when I start playing a Nintendo game instead. So I'm really neutral to it. I wouldn't complain if they had it, but I don't really miss it. So that's all I got there. Kayla, you're next.
I think that I would actually really enjoy there being like an achievement system for Nintendo, because I find that sometimes achievements bring you through a lot of things that you didn't really know about the game, and I find that normally the achievement system really helps for like achievement hunters, and they find out so much more than they thought they would have known about the game. For instance, I play a lot of Borderlands. I've gotten all of the achievements in all of the games. And
So you
I
played through each class every.
yeah,
Okay,
I
wow.
know a lot about Borderlands. And that's why, it's because I went through doing all of the achievements. So, yeah,
All right.
I'm in.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement that, like, Daniel, you mentioned whenever an achievement pops up on Xbox, you don't feel like an accomplishment. On PlayStation, when I get a trophy, I feel like a slight accomplishment if it's something that's not just like, oh, you beat this level.
Yeah.
Because then it's like you didn't really do anything to earn it. But like if you do all the side quests or you kill 10 enemies within like 5 seconds or something like that, then it's like, oh, I earned that. But like in Breath of the Wild, if you got in a trophy or something for killing a Lionel and a Guardian within 2 minutes of each other, then it's like that's sort of an accomplishment because they're both like overworld bosses. But anyways, for some reason on Xbox, I could care less about achievements, but with PlayStation trophies, I feel more of an achievement. And if it was Nintendo doing it, then I think there would be even more of an achievement there.
Yeah.
Like more satisfaction.
On the Wii, for Metroid Prime 3, there was an achievement system in just that game, and I did not give a crap about it.
Well, it's because it's localized to one game. If it was like system-wide, then I think a lot of people would care more. But like the trophies in Smash Brothers, I don't really care about them.
Yeah.
Wind Waker had its weird trophy thing in HD. Like the museum thing.
Oh, like the Nintendo Museum Gallery where the sculptor makes things when you take pictures of them? Because that was in the original too.
Yeah.
But
that wasn't achievement
photos
based.
Of things.
Yeah, it wasn't achievement based, but it was still. It reminded me of like the Smash Brothers trophy thing.
Right. Yeah.
But anyways, our next question comes from Game Over Night of a Zelda.
Zelda.
Yeah.
We said a sheet of last week, I think.
From Discord says, "Hey, Game Over Jesse, King Bergerson, Chiblima. My question is, if you played the Oracle games and Hyrule Warriors, if Din, Nehru, Ralph... Well, first off, have you guys played the Oracle games?
I actually haven't.
Alright, Hyrule Warriors?
Game Boy. Yeah, but I know who the characters are.
Yeah.
In Quest. So.
Alright. Just answering, like, the questions as we go along. If Din, Nehru, Ralph, and Furore possibly were added to Hyrule Warriors, who's Ralph? What?
I think Ralph might be
Din,
a
Nehru,
typo.
Ralph. Alright, Din, Nehru, and Furore were added to Hyrule Warriors. What would you like
Ralph is a character
as their movesets and combos? For Din, I think fire and dance. Nehru, I think her lyre and time magic. And for Ralph, his sword and spin attacks, similar to
Ralph.
Link's.
Ralph is a character in Oracle of Ages.
So clearly none of us have
That is
played
seen
Oracle.
at the end of Oracle of Ages. Okay. So I think they can't realistically be in Hyrule Warriors because they are the gods that created Hyrule. So they would be overpowered.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I believe that the characters in Hyrule Warriors, or not Hyrule Warriors, oh my goodness, in the Oracle games, though, are named that, but are actually characters in the game that are not actually the gods. You know what I mean? 1 second here. I'm doing a little bit of fact-checking here to make sure I don't spout nonsense.
Alright, while he's doing his...
Look at him go.
While Daniel's looking up his facts, everyone in the live chat, we're doing 3 more questions from the live chat. Get your questions ready and tag us so we can see it. Tag us so it
Only
stands
3,
out.
because I really have to pee. I overhydrated, and now I am suffering.
We'll do these questions fast as well. Alright, Daniel.
No, it's
Neighbor.
okay. Like, seriously.
Fact check us.
Yes, the characters in reference here are oracles named after the goddesses, but not actually the goddesses. And they play music and sing and stuff.
Alright. Well, in
So-
that case, I like the more the better. We had a similar
Sure.
question as last time. Like if they're putting Tingle and making up character, like if they're putting the Bug Lady in Hyrule Warriors,
Mm-hmm.
someone I never thought they would. Like I never gave a second thought to that character outside of playing
I thought
Twilight
she was
Princess.
cute. I liked her.
You
So-
like Agatha?
Yeah, she's cute.
Okay.
She's
So
a little bit crazy,
if
but she's cute.
If they add her into Hyrule Warriors, then I think they could add anyone and make it work. Like they made a human form of Volvagia or Volvagaya, however you want to pronounce it.
And they made Wizro, who is totally not a Wizrobe.
Yeah. So like the more the better for that. But what are your guys' thoughts before we move on to the next question?
Yes, I agree.
Yep.
More characters is good. If they can make up characters, then why not include ones that are actually from the game? So.
All right.
Yeah, I see no flaws there. Also, I'm someone that was not a big fan of Hyrule Warriors, so that's all I got. A hand gesture.
Did you ever play co-op though?
I don't have friends.
Oh, what? I thought I was your friend.
Alright.
It's better co-op, is what I'll
Kayla.
say.
We do not have a question from the chat just yet. So if you would like to pick a question
Boo.
from the mailbag,
Boo chat, boo. Okay, I'm looking. I'm searching.
you guys had your chance. You ruined it. You had your chance to get a question answered.
I don't know if you guys have answered this before, but God of the Lionels asks who our favorite Zelda character is.
I feel like that's a really generic question, but no.
So do
offense,
I,
God
but
of the
you know
Line.
what?
But you know what? I think it's one of those super obvious ones that I don't think we ever actually did answer.
That's kind of why I was like looking at it, and I was like, you know what? Like this seems like something that would have been answered, but
All right.
Before we answer the question, ground rule: you cannot choose any version of Link.
boo.
Favorite
Yeah, I
Zelda
picked this
character,
question so
but
we could
not
pick Link.
But not Link. So
Link is my favorite. But no, seriously, mine would be Midna. I love Midna.
good choice. Midna is good.
Midna's like, if I were to do a cosplay, Midna is like right up there on that list.
Okay. Ah. You know, I don't know what it is. I love the Gorons in general. They're just like such a fun race. I don't know what it is about them, but I love the Gorons. Daruk really struck a chord with me. She's just that big friendly giant character that, you know, the lovable giant friend who can crush you with his hand, but he loves you.
Is this a common theme with you? Do you seem to like bigger characters? Are you like a kind of person that likes using the broadsword or whatever? Do you use heavy-set weapons?
No, I don't. That's the thing.
That's really weird.
I just love his character, but so I don't use the claymores. I do use the broadswords because I
Okay.
like the sword shield combo.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna choose. I really like Impa. In
Yeah.
most of Impa's incarnations, she's a really cool ninja-like character.
Mhm.
I really enjoy Hyrule Warriors Impa. No shame, Kayla.
No, she
'cause
was great.
she's awesome.
Yeah.
She kicks butt. She gives you a sort of a stern lecturing in Skyward Sword.
Mm-hmm.
She shames you for taking too long to beat a dungeon, so which kind of raises the stakes of the game, in my opinion, because you're like, okay, I can't like dick around. I actually have to play this game. No, that's what I'm gonna go with. Impa is cool.
All right.
In the
Jesse.
chat, Losing Limo says Daniel likes thick boys.
I do.
Alright, I would-
Just, like thick Goron boy.
I would default to the Happy Mask Salesman or Groose or someone like that, but I don't want to choose one of them, so I'm gonna go with Pippet.
But
You
why
okay?
Pippet?
Isn't he the Knight Academy guy that's like
Yeah,
the older
Yeah.
brother to Link?
yeah. But,
Not literally,
why-
but because he's like
Act like it.
he's the nice guy.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, I see.
It's your classic knight in shining armor, and you like that.
Exactly.
Kind of gross yellow colored armor.
Pippet would be my senpai. That's why.
Oh.
Oh.
All right. Do we have any questions in the chat yet? Oh,
Yes,
I've seen
we
some.
do.
All right.
The champion of Morrowind asks, would you like an RPG set in the Metroid Prime universe? Perhaps the game could focus on the decade-long gap between Metroid and Prime, the beginning of the Phazon crisis. I don't think there's a decade.
How to get your question
Canonically.
guaranteed to be answered? Go to Patreon or ask a Metroid question for Daniel.
I do like Metroid. You know what? He asked this question twice in the chat. One saying Prime Universe, and one just saying the Metroid Universe. Talking about the space pirates. So Metroid in general, I think Prime or not. My personal headcanon, I hate when people say Prime isn't canon, because there's actually no real reason for it not to be. But Metroid, I guess when they would have to do something similar to Federation Force, and people, but I think they're not going to. I think they're going to be too scared to because of the backlash from that game. Even though it was totally just a publicity issue, not actually a problem with the game itself. But that's beside the point. I would like to see an RPG set there. Again, if we're doing spin-off games or RPGs, that kind of thing, Samus should not be the protagonist. That's all I'm saying. Because then there is going to be issues with the fans basically being like, but this isn't how Metroid is supposed to play. But if it's a spin-off game, then that's okay.
Oh, so quick update. Ralph was Nehru's boyfriend, champion of Morrowind.
Yeah, I saw that in the chat.
Oh, thank you, champion.
All right.
I'm so glad you're there to help me fact
Finish what you were
check.
saying.
In the okay, sorry. Champion of Morrowind was saying in the manual, it said that there was a decade-long gap. It was changed in Zero Mission, I believe. Okay, so I don't remember that. It's been ages since I've read the Prime original manual. I think I actually did read it when we got the game for the GameCube, so like 2001 or 2. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if it would have to necessarily focus on the Phazon crisis, because I do feel like that dragged too long. They kind of they drew it out a bit. I really like the Prime games, but they kind of dragged out the whole Phazon crisis. But it is neat how it all connects, like between the three games. But I think just set sort of in the Metroid universe, and maybe being more about the conflict between the Space Pirates and the Federation would be kind of a cooler setup for an RPG kind of thing. So that's my thought on that. Other people who are on this podcast.
I'm gonna be honest with you right now and say that I don't think I've played any Metroid games.
Any Metroid games?
Any. I had like one really bad one on the original DS.
You could buy Super Metroid on the Wii U for like 35 cents at one point.
I don't have a Wii U. I gave it away for a PS4.
No, it was 30 cents. Do you remember that, Daniel? For like the 30th anniversary or like 35th anniversary of Nintendo, they released a lot of their virtual console games. Like, every game was available for one day, and then each day was a different game. And to celebrate the 30th anniversary or like the 35th anniversary, you could pay like 30 cents or 35 cents to buy each of these games.
Well, damn.
So,
I missed
like,
that bandwagon.
I got like Yoshi, the NES game, Metroid for the Super Nintendo, and like a bunch of other games for like 30 cents. When they were originally
I have this bad boy, and it's hacked, so I can download anything on the Nintendo Marketplace. So I got that going for me.
Nintendo's watching.
That's okay.
The Nintendo
This is my
Ninjas.
actual DS. My other one I dropped on the floor and it doesn't function.
Oh, okay. That's your
Good cover up.
2DS.
Yeah, I was a big fan of they first majorly, well, they introduced RPG elements to Zelda back in like Zelda 2.
Zelda 2.
So like, and even the first one, like you could upgrade your weapons and stuff. Like any game, every single game that there is has some sort of RPG elements to it. But making a game more of an RPG than what it originally is. Like Skyward Sword added in a lot of the RPG elements. Breath of the Wild has tons of RP. It basically is an action RPG at this point. Metroid, like an RPG style Metroid game, I think would be really, really cool. The time period doesn't really matter for me. I would just like to see what kind of concept they could come up with it. So, you good, Daniel?
Yeah, why?
Okay. You guys were both just like shaking your head. I didn't know if like you could.
I was agreeing with
your
you.
mic went out.
Just
where it was
listening,
needed.
you know.
So, yeah. Are we at the last question? Kayla, did you give yours?
Yeah, you're the last question.
Okay. Super Link 364 says, Daniel, why do you smell like a fart?
This is a real question because I love it.
No.
How dare you?
Ivan Diaz, who I'm picking his question because Ivan is the name of my older brother, says, so Jesse, do you think the Deku Tree is some sort of deity like Hylia? I think the answer to that is an obvious yes.
Yeah, I think there's like different sort of levels of godliness in the Zelda universe. So there's like patron deities.
So there's like the
Deku Tree.
The three goddesses. They created Hylia.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say
the world.
Yeah, and then below Hylia, I would say are the sages.
Mm-hmm.
And then under the sages, I would say are like under that it would like branch off to be like there are the dragons.
Mm-hmm.
From like
or light spirits.
Yeah, from the dragons from like Skyward Sword or Breath of the Wild, and then like equal to them but in a separate branch would be the spirits from Twilight Princess, and then equal to them but in a separate branch would be like Valu from Wind Waker, the Great Deku Trees. I say trees because there's like the Deku Sprout from Ocarina of Time and the original Deku Tree, and then the new one from Breath of the Wild. So, and then I can't remember for sure, but I want to say the Gorons feared but also worshipped Volvagia. But I'm not sure if they actually worshipped him.
I don't think they worshipped him, but I might be wrong. But
yeah,
the Rito, there was Valu. He was like their patron deity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there was Jaboon.
Yeah, Jaboon, who had the canceled dungeon in the Wind Waker.
Yes.
The video's done really well too. I'm proud of that. Hasn't done like as well as the others, but it's like 40-ish thousand views, which is enough to make me happy. Also, Ilya, your question was on here. I don't know if you were watching the video, but the one that you did the voiceover on now has over 100,000, so that was really cool.
By the way, I don't know what's wrong with the stream, and I don't know if it's happening to you guys, but it keeps not working.
No, that happened to me as well. Oh no.
There's like a spinning wheel, and to me, rubbing my nose really vigorously.
I started the stream, like I ended it and started back. So.
Okay. Well.
If it's not going, we were at the end.
True.
Yeah.
So.
I got a new phone case.
Oh, congrats! I have this cool little Nintendo Switch pop socket. Wow.
Is it working for you guys?
What's the point of those pop socket things? No,
I don't know. I only put it like you're supposed to it's to help you hold your phone, but I only put it on my phone to help advertise.
Alright,
a little bit.
Started streaming again.
I'm going to refresh the page.
Yeah, refresh.
Spinning wheel, spinning wheel.
Something's happening.
Nope, not working for me. Oh well.
The wheel is a spinning.
So, yeah, to answer the question, Deku Tree, obviously a deity, changed I think created the Koroks, changed them to Kakiri, changed them back to Koroks, has a huge protection spell, which theorized on the forest to keep out evil. Probably is the being in control of the magic for the Lost Woods that actually allows people to get lost and stuff in it to protect the forest. I don't know if that's true or not.
Something like that.
I
don't know for sure.
My head canon. Didn't you say you didn't like head canon when people use that word, Daniel?
No, I use that word all the time.
Okay.
What
were you saying
on
with
this
that?
very podcast?
Maybe it was just that. No, earlier I thought you said
Headcanon is a real thing, guys.
No, I thought Daniel said earlier something about headcanon, and then you said you don't like when people say that, but it could have been the theory that you were talking about being headcanon that you didn't like. I don't know. Anyways, so like there are the different tiers. Fierce Deity is in there somewhere. Majora is in there somewhere. All those, they could have just been beings that had power, not necessarily gods. But then, like, if you're talking about deity, he's called deity, but he could have just viewed himself as a deity in the same way that, like, Ganondorf views himself as, like, a god.
Yeah. Someone in the chat, which is still going, said that all live streams are down. I don't know why they're all down, but every single one of them. So I think it's not just
might be on Twitch.
Might be a YouTube problem.
Here. Twitch.tv/gameover. Jesse, can anyone see if the Twitch thing's there?
I don't have you on Twitch.
All the Jessies are gone. Okay. All the Jessies are gone. Let's just open the link. Gone. Okay.
Oh yeah, we're still live.
All
on
the
Twitch.
Jessies are gone. Okay.
Oh, are we? Hello, Twitch.
Ooh, here I thought we were gonna be. Oh. Okay, it was really weird. I opened the Twitch link and then there was me talking.
Oh no.
Alright.
How do you guys listen to that?
So to end this, since we had a bit of a delay, what are your guys' favorite deity? Like Jabun, the Light Spirits, Jabu, Valu, Deku Tree, the Oracles, the Goddesses, Hylia, whoever.
I like the Deku Tree is very like that old wise sort of feel to them, which I enjoy. I think my absolute favorite is Valu, because he shows up in Wind Waker and he just torches Ganondorf's house tower thing, and he's just like very I don't know, he just does some cryptic stuff and flies away, that kind of thing. And so it's just like, I don't know, I enjoy that.
Yeah.
So,
I think mine is actually probably the Deku Tree, because I don't know,
I was actually gonna say the Deku Tree too.
Oh, okay.
I love, like, you roll in and this guy is like, I am, like, knowledgeable, here, have this fairy, like, live your life, but, oh, I'm dying.
Yeah.
I'm dead. Anyway, thanks for saving me, but actually you were too late.
Yeah, they're saying
to begin with.
Gus and Champion of Morrowind says, yay, we aren't dead, and then Gus says, I'm on my way. Right, I'm on the way. I am on my way, sorry. I can't see.
My Twitch is currently updating, so I cannot see it. Thanks, Twitch.
So, I like the Deku Tree because I love the Kakiri. Kakiri have only been in, like, retcon 3 Zelda games. Officially 2, but 1 was dead. Okay, so, like, Ocarina of Time. They retconned the forest boy with the flute in A Link to the Past to be a Kakiri. In the Game Boy Advance version, he is a Kakiri, when he used to just be a boy in green.
Right.
And then Wind Waker has the Sage Kakiri. So, to me, seeing the Deku Tree reminds me of Kakiri Forest from Ocarina of Time, which I love, and the Kakiri Forest song and Saria's song and everything. I love the race, the Kakiri. So if I see the Deku Tree, it makes me hope, or like it gives me hope that the Kakiri is going to be in there, which Kakiri was supposed to be in Breath of the Wild, but they weren't. They were replaced by the Kakiri, or the Koroks, I mean. So Yeah, and then the Deku Tree was also in Wind Waker, but there was only the one Sage Kakiri, and then the rest were turned into Koroks. I think the Oracle games, one of them had the Deku Tree. I'm not sure.
I think it was not the Deku Tree, though. I think it was
the something,
different tree.
The Maka Tree.
Maku Tree.
Yeah, the Maka Tree.
Something along those lines. We're bad with the Oracle games,
That was
apparently.
weird. Deku Tree was in Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, Breath of the Wild. So, yeah, it was a different tree in the others.
It is the Maku Tree.
Hyrule Warriors as well.
Oh, yeah, sorta.
Apparently there's promotional render of Darunia in a palette-swapped form of the Great Deku Tree, so he has, like, green hair and vines and stuff going around him.
What?
Yeah. It says Hyrule Warriors Legends, as part of the Master Wind Waker DLC, Darunia has a recolor of his standard outfit based on the Great Deku Tree from the Wind Waker. And he has green hair as leaves, and then he has, like, his veins look like vines. I don't know. It's on zelda.wikia.com if you go to the Great Deku Tree. But anyways, that brings us to the end of our Zelda Mailbag, everyone who continued watching on Twitch and everyone who is watching the edited version on YouTube at youtube.com/GameOverJesse or twitch.tv/GameOverJesse. Daniel, thank you for co-hosting with me,
Thanks
as always.
you.
If everyone
always as well.
wanted to find you, where could they find you?
You can
He
find me
lives
on Twitter
on
and Instagram at
123 Fake Street in the Blue House.
That's right.
Yep.
Actually, I kid you not, there's an
Okay.
address I used to live at that the address was 123, and
Oh.
that was always funny. I won't say where any more details, but I don't
123
even live
Fake
there
Street
anymore.
was, I think
But-
that was an address Bart gave the officer on The Simpsons.
Oh,
He's like, "Where do you live?" And I said 123 Fake Street.
that would be funny if that was
that's
actually their address, though.
Yeah.
That was the truth. But no, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at CaptBurgerson, CAPT Burger Son, like the child. And I post things on there. Mostly I retweet Jesse and I post pictures on Instagram of my amiibos. And you can also find my YouTube at NSHG Films on YouTube, but I don't post a whole lot there. Or you can just go to my website, which is burgersonmedia.com. That is all.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
And
Namaste.
what about you, Kayla? Where can people find you?
You can find me at Chublima on basically everything. So like Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. Gonna keep saying RuneScape because I really want people to come play RuneScape with me, please. I'm begging you.
Fortnite for me.
Yeah, and
I need Fortnite
most of the
friends.
people that normally watch this, I know that we are all in the Discord together. So hit me up if you guys ever want to play a game.
Yes.
Alright. And for me, it's Game Over Jesse at everything: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch. Yeah, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, literally everything is Game Over Jesse. Even the
You just Google Game Over Jesse,
Fortnite.
bam, his entire story of his
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. No, I have a YouTube video about the story of my life. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Daniel, for
Thank you,
co-hosting 27, 28 episodes. Thank you,
All right.
Kayla, for being our new co-host. And
Thank you.
New-ish.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, everybody, for watching. I am Jesse at Game Over Jesse. This is Daniel at King Burgerson. No, what is it? It's Captain Burgerson.
Capped
Yes,
Burgers.
King Burgerson is the Discord. And thank you, Kayla at Chiblima. And we are out. Say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.